thought. Every baby knows that talk is cheap, so cheap. You see their actions, but
it's already
never know their reactions.
Already 18 minutes going down after 8 o'clock on a wonderful Wednesday evening. It's Wednesday, the 24th day of
the truth will reveal
November.
Things that are hidden. I said the things that
and for the old-time farmers, the 25th of November is what we call La Secatwin.
The truth will reveal.
If you want to plant something and for it to stay short, tomorrow is the... And I think the moon is going down now, so... The coconut or whatever it is, if you don't want it to go up to the clouds, you plant it on La Secatwin. And I also think it's the birthday of a brother of mine. He's not political, so I know he's not listening, but I'll still say happy birthday to him. And let's just give thanks to the Almighty God for us being here and you on the outside listening. Give thanks to a wonderful country, wonderful people.
From long time gone.
We give thanks for life. Yes, the breath of life.
That looks at
give thanks for all that we take for granted. We give thanks for health.
Run deep.
And we ask for protection and guidance from the Almighty Father.
Time alone with
as we deliberate this evening,
every eyes will see.
We ask that He keep us on track.
Keep
us from deviating from the truth as much as possible. It's always the truth that will set you free. So we give thanks for everything and we say good night to all of you wherever you are. On the west coast, the east coast, the southern end, the northern end. In the mountains and the valleys all over Dominica. And to Dominicans all out there, the Tri-State area, all over North America, Canada, in Europe, wherever you are, good evening to you. This is Real Talk coming to you from the genuine sound of Dominica, Kyrie FM. And we give thanks to for Kyrie FM, the proprietor, Crazy the Crazy, who just had a birthday not too long ago. Of course, I did wish you long life and protection. You are a great guy, I know that. I've worked with you, so I know what it's all about. May God's grace continue to just give you all the abundance of what you want. And most of all, good health. To my lady down there in the north, Jeanette and Roy, good evening to you and your sister Cross in St. Martin. Jane, Primus, it's a long time. And while I'm there, let me say good evening to you, Auntie, and to Selassie's son, River Nika, Fire, Blaze.
Truth will reveal things that are hidden.
To all my Rasta Idren, Big Brother War, good evening to you. Brother Ikers, Ozzy, Ras Bobby of Blue Tongue. And of course, my Rasta partner in Moon Sewie, you know who you are. Good evening to you, Lenny. I see you have a new mascot now. But you must be careful because whenever he creates the problem, he runs up to the mountain and listens to the radio. While poor people, children, they're taking their blows. Be careful, brother. Choose who you're choosing to have your revolution with. Some of them are revolutions, you know. To all my angels, soldiers all over. Roseau Central, big up from Melissa Dung, Annie, Yvette, and all the rest of you. Roseau Central in Boyd's Avenue, Kennedy Avenue. And all those soon to be in their beautiful apartments on just in that little corner of town. Liba Katwavai Mokadiu, Liba Katwavai.
The truth will reveal.
And Liba will continue working. As we say, it's a family. And this morning I heard someone saying it's not a team. It's a family.
Truth will reveal. The truth will reveal.
It's already 8:23. Let me say good evening to my two good partners there with me. Saka Fed Books.
Yeah, good night, Ghost. Good night to the listeners. And how are you doing? How has been the week thus far?
I well, thanks.
I see you looking well, thanks, man. No more juice?
Well, the last set of guavas I just distribute to my neighbors and bring down some tongue. But I do have enough to supply me on the deep freeze, the fridge, well frozen, you know.
So let me say good night to everyone. Let me say good night to my folks, IL and my IL. I hope you're doing all right in Point Michelle. I mean, I hope you're doing much better. I know sometimes I ask your daughter about you. Hope you're doing okay. My friend down there
when you say who that, my IL or IL?
IL and my IL, both of them. That's the IL is not going to be, you know.
No, but you say you hope they're doing well. I don't know if it's IL that not doing too
well. I know what I'm talking about.
Okay, because IL is my partner and I've seen him for a while because of the...
All you do is, well, you can just drive up Point Michelle one and
well, he can meet me by the bay. The boats and them coming.
The boats coming, so you expect him to come down to the boat.
I haven't seen him.
All right, okay, man. IL, good night. He must be having a good laugh on that one. Let me say good night to my friend down there, Mr. Clifford Wallace. Boy, I do not know. This weekend I may just drive down and even stay in the window by the room and say hello to you, you know, probably I'll just think of that. It's a long time I have a touch base and so on. And your wife and your daughter, hope you're having a good time, a good week. Toppy Tops up there in Dodan, good night. And good night to Vanus. Let me say good night to Ostel and Sam. Ostel and Sam, as the trustee of the party, just coming out and ensuring that everything is settled for tomorrow. I drove him up there, and we had a nice little time up in Granby. Granby is just cool, man. I mean, just people probably following protocols, lining the streets, distancing, and just waiting for the polling stations to open to come down there and cast.
At what time tomorrow? 7?
7 o'clock. Just waiting. I'm cool, man. I mean, do not let. Let me tell Dominicans, do not let anything what they hear on the other radio station disturb them. I mean, virtually, there are 2 people on the ballot box. But in my view, I mean...
2 people, come on.
2 persons.
3 people.
Well...
3 people.
Well, okay, 3 persons.
The whole long Rasta with me, boss.
Okay. 2, the Rasta man and then... and handbag.
The Rasta and 2 people.
But there's only 1 person we're voting for tomorrow. Only 1 person to be voted for, and that is Dr. Vince Henderson. So that is what the Granby people just waiting in the next few hours to do tomorrow morning. So I'm just coming from there and then into the studio. And then good night, Ostel. I mean, we just had a nice time, and our British lady friend.
So you had a few whiskeys?
No, not at all. And okay, I'll tell you. I just had an old Eldorado and Coke, just one. And then and let me say good night to Flossie Joseph up there. I know you want to know what is happening in Grand. Flossie, somebody anytime Labour Party, I mean, she has to know. You have to send her your manifesto, your T-shirt, everything. So good night to you, and she's always glued. She is listening. Good night, Flossie Joseph. Hope you are having a good time. Let me say good night to Irma Lafont down there in Kinfield, and good night to Monroe. Monroe, I have not seen you over the past thing in Granby. I hope you're doing okay, but I did not pass in Bellevue to see you. I know sometimes when you go up to Granby, you're more cool out doing your campaigning in Lawi there, in Mabushi, around by Willie down there. So, I mean, I didn't look for you, but I have not seen you in a while. So, special good night to you, Monroe. Yes, Ghost, everything is set for tomorrow. The Granby people are ready to vote. And tomorrow they're going to vote for Dr. Vince Henderson en masse. So by tomorrow about this time,
Clarence, well, of
it
course,
will be celebration in Granby.
Well, of course, we
cannot celebrate. We cannot celebrate because of COVID. We would have celebrated.
Yeah.
But
well, I just want to say good evening as well. To all our listeners. Thanks for having us in your company, in your midweek Wednesday evening company. We're happy to come here to do it for you and with you together. And of course, I will look forward to the program. It should be a very interesting program. And as Clarence just introduced, it is Granby. All attention is on Granby. Tomorrow, the people of Granby go to the polls, the by-election to replace the deceased brother, Ed Regis. May his soul rest in peace. Ed was buried just about a month or so ago, and already we are replacing him. It is mandatory that the vacancies be filled within 90 days of the death of the person or the resignation of the person. And so we are ready. The machinery is in place. But before we go there, I just want to say good evening to Joyce and Barrett in Soufriere, and to Darling in Bath Estate, to Celia, and to Auntie Mavis. You are listening in Citronelle. I understand you're a constant listener. You always wait for Wednesday evening. To the Battery crew, to Mrs. Concern. You hear that, Mrs. Concern, to Vincian, to Veve in St. Thomas, to Mato in Fortney, to Shaplis, and to the other lady friend, outside Shillingford who ply your trade there, good evening. I have not seen that lady from Grand Bay, for the last week in that area there. But to all of you, wherever you may be, good evening. Thanks for having us, and we look forward to a wonderful interaction. Of course, the calls will be coming in. We expect calls coming from Grand Bay. They're coming from Granby to tell us what's happening on the ground, and we're looking forward to a very exciting evening this evening, Raskelly. And of course, listeners, you can feel the difference already. Raskelly's on the consoles.
Of course, let me just say good evening to who's already there. Brendan, England, London. Good evening to you. Definitely we'll hear from you a little later. The Prosper sisters are there with us. Good evening to both of you. Of course, my brother from another mother in St. Lucia, Tony. You're always there with us on a Wednesday evening. It's just that COVID kill your movements. You haven't come to Dominica for what, 2 years now, 2 carnivals. That COVID will go away, And to my adopted daughter out there in St. Croix, and Hector and the Picnic. Good evening to you. Yes, you are hearing my voice, not on the telephone. And my good friend Trendsetter. He's a worker, but he loves labor. I don't know if it's his brother here, Freddie, don't want to come across. Your brother not workers again, Your brother in the People's Party. With Powell. Good evening to you, Powell. And you know, Franco, you wouldn't know Zed, because Zed lived Dominica long, but he's one of the agitators out there. And Zed want to confront me, but Zed, you're almost like family and my little brother. So I tell you, I will always stay soft with you. When you live in America and you haven't come to Dominica for 40 years, you don't know what it is all about, Zed. And we know the whole history of you and what it is. Like I said to you, bro, you were a very bright guy with a wonderful future. Try to use the little rest you have positively. I'll tell you, you're not riding the right horse at all.
This guy said was a very bright mathematician. I mean, because I didn't think math, and he was a very, very bright.
That was a bright young man.
Young man, I think so.
Yeah, a wonderful future.
And then the man go to the States with all the opportunities. By now, if Zed had continued, Zed could have been the top cardiologist. He could have been the engineer, whatever he wanted to be. The top in. Whatever he wanted to do too, he had the opportunity. But those guys here, they wasted their time, they forget they had 24 hours.
Yes.
And then whatever they do.
Clarence and Raskelly, it never ceases to amaze me, the new trend of our politics, where people want to stay overseas, stay outside, and try to influence what is happening in Dominica. I mean, we have 2 political parties here. Their leaders are based overseas. Okay? And they want to tell us what to do in Dominica.
But at the same time,
the third one, the owner, the proprietor, the franchise owner is based overseas as well. And they want to tell us how to run our country, how to run Dominica.
But at the same time, they do not want Dominicans
to come and
vote.
Yeah.
They can stay over there and direct
And they can spend their money, spend a lot of time to influence a mass of people
to go and protest, to go and create things, but they do not want.
But the one Dominican come in, he has one vote.
One vote.
He has one vote. But they want to stay over there, use their money, use their time, their effort, their expertise, and to influence a mass of people to go and vote how they want them to vote.
The same thing happens. They do not want Dominicans to come down to vote. And I had to mention that on a WhatsApp page to the pastor, well, Rodney on the other side. Mm-hmm. You don't want Dominicans, like, let's say, Guada in Guadeloupe, who is in Dominica.
But again,
okay. Sometimes Guada comes to Dominica every 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Right? He's in Dominica every 2 weeks. So he cannot come down to vote. But you can take Unica Anthony, who resides, who is married in Antigua, working in Antigua, has built a house in Antigua, have a children in Antigua, have a husband in Antigua, living in Antigua. She can leave Antigua and come down to Dominica, not to vote,
run election,
but to contest elections.
Get her volley and take off.
Get her volley and take. So if she had won, she would go back to her house in Antigua.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Right?
But you know,
but this is the level of hypocrisy of those guys.
You know, over time, that's what we've had from because you win your pal rep and you living in St. Thomas and every free house sitting up Parliament.
But Peter Carbon mastered that.
And before him you had
Peter Carbon mastered that. Peter Carbon left after Workers lost the election in 2000. He left to the States. And he came for every third session of the Parliament. Parliament used to meet on the Mondays. So he would fly in on the weekend, the Sunday afternoon, attend the morning session of Parliament, Monday morning.
And
then Monday afternoon fly out. In those days, we had the Eagle, so to land him straight back on U.S. territory and get to his work on Tuesday morning. So he really lost one day, the Monday.
And he was getting a salary.
And that was being done consistently. There was Jerome Burke before him.
I tell you, Burke was there before
Jerome
him.
Burke before him, the same constituency of Wesley, who migrated to the United States and used to come every third sitting of the Parliament.
No, everything workers, you hear workers, just like the other uncle up in the USA. Anything you hear them criticizing, they're guilty of it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they're guilty.
Ron Green. U.S. citizen.
Ron Green acted Prime Minister as a U.S. citizen.
Yeah. But they complaining about it. They complaining about Vince from St. Joe.
Yeah. And he put his name on an election petition to challenge somebody saying that they have dual citizenship. When you acted Prime Minister, you were Minister of Government for 4.5 years, acted Prime Minister how many times? As a U.S. citizen.
But let me tell you the classic with those guys. In 1995, our current president, Charles Savary, contested the election. He was employed by the NDC, a statutory corporation. Right? Peter Carbon contested the election. He was employed by the DBMC, a statutory corporation. Mm-hmm. Both candidates won their seat. Right? So both of them work in a statutory corporation. The UWP, through their machinations, they who did it, took Charles Savary to court, saying he's a public officer and he should have resigned. Mm-hmm. But Peter Carbon, who was working as a statutory extension officer for DBMC, a statutory corporation under the Ministry of Agriculture.
He was made a minister.
This is the level of hypocrisy. And those guys who so-called pastors on the radio station, they never say anything. They see those things happening. So you have two statutory employees contesting election. Winning their seat. But the opponent, you're taking him to court saying he was a public officer, while your own is sitting in there. I mean, this is...
But even in current times, elections, they want free seats. There's nothing wrong
with their free seats.
Absolutely nothing wrong. There was no dead people voting in your constituency. They won. But in 18 others, they can find fault in 18 other seats that they lose.
Well, I suspect because the new thing is, when Vince win, I suspect they'll call for an audit.
But we have to talk because I have the law with me. We have to talk about. But give me a minute. We have right now about 160, just over 160 viewers on Facebook. So let us just say hello to some of them, right? Because they're on Facebook. Let us say Phyllis Petilia Libla, good night to you. Juliet Dover, Addison Baptist, Corinne King, June John Baptist, I know she's from Salisbury. It's quite a lot. And a number of persons already hooked onto Facebook. And Keki Fountain, special good night. I think I called Nelisa Thomas. Evina Prosper,
Norma Alexander,
and quite a number.
I want to see
Norma Alexander is from Canada, and let me say hello to Carlton Regis, and let me say in Canada, let me say hello to Francis Hilton and my Toronto Facebook friend. Special good evening to you. All those persons are hooked up to Facebook.
No, I want to say a special good evening to Corinne. Yes, Corinne King and Steffi. Definitely. So all of you, well, as usual, it's a Wednesday night and we expect all of you. Ramon's in Canada, good evening to you. And before we continue, let me just, Clarence, take that one.
I see.
It seems our partner don't to sing for us.
Is it the House of Assembly Monarch?
Yeah.
Lincoln Durant, good night. And
okay, yeah. Rascally, trying to bring up
our parliamentary
Monarch
do want to sing for us. So I really don't know. That is what that coming up instead. So I don't know where you had that at all.
No,
it is the same track. Free.
Steve loaded it this afternoon.
And you sure is that?
Well, let's see if we can put it on there. Okay, put on the music and let's see.
Yeah, I mean, we
make sure you vote. We convince, we voted for Vince in Granby. We voted for Vince in the by-election in Granby. We convince, we voted for Vince. Mordio, we convince. Colibri, we convince. Martin, we convince. Tedmon, we convince. Powell, we convince. Milton Stone, we convince. Hartley, we convince. Wavin Banan, we convince. Lale, we convince. Lale, we convince. Highland, we convince. Center, we convince. Berikwa, we convince. Mabouche, we convince. All of Granby, we convince. We convince, we voting for Vince in Granby. We convince, we voting for Vince in Granby.
Yeah, good. Let me just say good night to Eddie Savrin up there in Hillsborough Gardens.
You don't have respect for the King of Parliament, man.
Oh,
Parliamentary.
the yeah, but that is the next Calypso King.
The man singing like he's in a saucepan, he's singing me. Hearing the voice.
That is
But I would
the next Calypso King.
no, well, I would want to put him up against the senior minister.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he and the senior minister. I don't know if it have anymore, but he and the senior. I will write for you. Hey, my partner don't know. I will write for you. I don't know who writing for.
Your partner senator will write for him.
Well, yeah, senator can write for Blackmore, I'll write for the senior. Yeah, and that is what we want to see. Anybody else that want to come can come in, but those two.
No, but it's interesting, Rascally, you know, as we go into the elections, and Clarence will take us through some of the legislation there. You know, perhaps we should just look. You know, the emphasis tonight has to be to encourage people to go out to vote. You know, and never mind the noises that you're hearing. You know, and what is happening, but go out to vote. Call your friend. Call your family, call your neighbor, call your boyfriend, your wife, call your voisinage. Tell them, go out early to vote tomorrow. But Rascally, see where we came from. The election was announced after the funeral of former comrade Ed Regis. In the first 2 weeks, the issue on the ground was Vince not from Granby. Okay, and they went to tongue on that. That was destroyed. You know, I mean, on the ground, on the radio, it was destroyed. The man can run, and there's precedents across Dominica, across our political history, where people from outside of the immediate area constituency ran in that particular constituency. In the third week, and how sad and pathetic it was, there was an onslaught on education. And we were told by people with education, people who have done so much to school their children, they move mountains, maybe pull the devil's tail to send their children to education, to educate to educate themselves. They are telling us in Dominica, they are telling the people of Grand Bay in particular, that a good education is not necessary for membership for their parliamentary representative in the House of Assembly. They felt the brunt of the Granby people. Granby people did not take them on. Granby people began walking more and more with Dr. Vince Henderson, showing him the ropes. And Dr. Henderson can repeat the various localities, you know, the lacus, you know, in Granby. You know, that is how quick the gentleman has learned the geography of Granby. This week now, we have a different issue. We are being told, some people are writing to the commission asking them to remove Vince from contesting the election. By whose authority?
And why? What I want to know is why.
By whose authority? Which authority? And they should tell us that. And people, let's take it slowly. Which authority can tell Vince Henderson that he was not properly nominated and that he should step down? Or we're going to remove you. Which authority? They should be able to tell people that.
But
let me ask a few questions. You have the electoral office. Whenever somebody is registered to go up for elections, is not their duty to find out if those people meet the criteria and everything in terms of the laws and whatever you have to do before to go forward. If there's a discrepancy, they're not entitled to point out that there's a discrepancy and you cannot go, even personally, to the person. That cannot happen.
Put it this way. The returning officer, once the election writ is issued by the president, the returning officer takes charge of the election in his constituency. He functions under the general guidance, supervision of the chief elections officer. But so like tomorrow, for example, the chief election officer can go to Granby and give instructions to the returning officer in every public way. You know, he can advise him, call him on the telephone, something comes to his attention, telling that. But the returning officer is in charge. So any of those issues, it has to be dealt. The returning officer on nomination day has to pick it up. And once the returning officer signs over on the nomination papers and submits it to the chief elections officer, the chief elections officer cannot change anything there.
Because they have no law. no constitution, nothing that can change the nomination paper submitted by the election officer, the election in the polling district,
The returning officer.
the returning officer. There is nothing can be done.
No.
If anything that have to be done is by election petitions, right? So the person contests the seat, the party in thing will say, okay, do not vote, go to the constituency, don't vote for the person, you will lose your vote, and so on. And there are certain procedures you have to tell people and that go in the constituency, write it on the newspaper.
What's that?
And you will, but the fact of the matter is, the Electoral Commission cannot alter the nomination of any candidate.
So a candidate comes, you on the nomination day, you fill out what you're filling out. So whatever is there, that is what the returning officer has to deal with.
Have to deal with.
He cannot go and investigate anything.
Nothing at all. No,
to see if the prospective candidate or pal rep missing something.
No, because the documents has to be prepared and sworn to before a justice of the peace or a lawyer, and by the time it reaches the returning officer, there's very little the returning officer can do.
So if the returning officer finds out that there is something that's not right, he can do nothing about that.
He should be able to do something at that stage before he accepts it. Before he accepts the nomination, the document, because it has been signed by a JP or a lawyer or a magistrate or whatever it is. But in terms of qualification, I am not too sure there's much he can do.
I don't think he can do anything on the qualification of thing. But anyway, so
But with even before you go into those things, there is one I want you to tell me and talk to me about. That any person going up for election must be able to read and write the English language.
Well, it is clear.
It is clear in the law. So, but they're not talking about that.
It is clear in the law.
The law says you have to be able to read and write.
So we
the
just
English language.
So we just
The English
the
language.
English language.
You
yeah.
read and write the English language.
Yeah. Competent enough.
You have to be-
In a proficient
Proficient
summary
way.
to be able to participate in the proceedings
of the house. It is in the law.
It's in the law.
You see, you
So
have to
why?
be able to
So
read
what happened?
English
We
language.
just like them Democrats, man. The Republicans just do everything and try to we ourselves just take everything and not to push anything.
No, but I mean,
And or that we do worry about that.
so why worry about a handbag when you know you're not going to win and things? So I mean,
I mean, but he cannot. He not proficient in none of those things, whether speaking or writing.
So what they are saying, Ghost, now is that Vince did not resign his post as ambassador, and therefore he was in an office of emolument of the state, and so he should resign. Right? I think senior counsel gave an excellent legal lecture on Saturday night on the matter. But for persons who did not listen to the program, I think so, I can probably attempt to. I'm not a lawyer. I don't profess to be a lawyer. And please don't know nothing. I do not profess to be a lawyer. But having being a senior public officer, I have a basic understanding of what it is when it comes to the public service. And if you want to know if somebody is properly nominated or who should resign to contest election, the law says, that is Act 27 of 1991, which I have some in my hand there. Act 97 2021. It defines office, right? In the public service, it defines office. It says office means, and the listeners listen to me carefully, office means any office of emolument, of emolument in the service of the state specified in the first schedule. So therefore, any office of emolument specified in the first schedule.
Break that down first to understand.
That means any person working in the public office that is receiving money from the state that is specified in the first schedule of the act.
And
And
what is the first schedule of the act?
well, we're going to come to that, right? In the first schedule, right, should resign if they have to contest election. Basically, according to the Constitution, should resign. Okay, these are the persons, and it says so. Persons specified in the first schedule of Act 27 of 1991. We go to Act 27 of 1991. You see, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pages, and it is back and front. So you have 10 pages of all the posts, all the offices in the public service that should resign if they want to contest election. That must resign.
And Afi doesn't know that.
Of course, Afi knows that.
Right? This is the post. This is the first schedule of the act.
Afi spent on the emotions or
And
people that listen to him.
10 pages, and I printed all 10. Used my printer at my office place and printed all 10. I only print them back and front, right, so that you can see it. And we can start. Accountant.
What am you going to read the 10 pages?
No, I'm going to read all the 10 pages. I'm going to read where we should stop. Accountant. Accountant general. So if the accountant general in the treasury, accountant, whichever accountant, post of accountant, wherever it is. Accounts clerk. Administrative assistant. Administrative cadet. Administrative officer. Adult education aide. Adult education officer. Agricultural assistant. You come down. Air traffic controller. Assistant accountant. Assistant education officer. Assistant education officer. Assistant janitor, assistant librarian, assistant livestock development officer. You go.
You pass AM already?
No, that's what I'm going to. That's what I'm coming to. We don't pass AM yet. Assistant local government commissioner, assistant matron, right? Assistant mechanical superintendent, assistant office attendant, all there. Then you go to AU now. You pass AM.
You pass AM.
Right? You go to Attorney General. So if the Attorney General is a public officer, has to contest election, he must resign to contest election. You go to Audit Clerk 1, so you're passing, Auditor Cooperatives, Budget Controller, if the Budget Controller, Building Inspector, all these things, nowhere on that list. Nowhere on that list is the post of ambassador.
So what is the contention?
Mischief.
Mischief.
Because you see, I get into not arguments, not conversations with supporters of the workers. And even on WhatsApp, I'm not a Facebook general like all you fellas. You accusing people all the while of breaking the law, and you refuse to tell us, if you're so versed in what the law and saying, why you cannot tell us, specify what exactly it is that what law Vince breaking? Because up until now, I haven't heard any of them more than say, hey, Vince not qualified, Vince disqualified. But tell me why Vince is disqualified. Up to now, to me, I haven't heard that from any one of them, including Afi, who is supposed to be. He's the mascot now, and I expect him to tell us, well, Vince is disqualified because of Section A, Schedule 1. I haven't heard that at all.
But it's even more than that. You heard him yesterday when he said he wrote. He had the pleasure, he had this distinct pleasure of writing a letter. And he was so pleased to have to sit down and speak to the Chief Elections Officer concerning the contents of the letter. And he expected the Chief Elections Officer to bring the contents of the letter to the attention of the Chairman of the Commission. And he expected the Commission to call him and respond to them and tell them, yes, they read his letter and that they are going to remove Vince from remove Vince from candidate. He's yet to say by under what authority, which law, gave the chairman of the commission the power to tell Vince, you're wrongly nominated, you should step down. Which law? Which law? Which constitution?
Tell us which one.
He's yet to say that. But he's playing on the emotions and he's frothing at the mouth and he's panting away, trying to create an emotion. Trying to get people to rile up people.
But I will.
But let me
I will warn. As I said earlier, I warn my partners, Lenny and them. If he will instigate a problem and then run up on the hill and to see if he's seen the flames in tongue burning, or you must be careful.
Let
That's
me
not what we're
Ghost,
about.
let me go again. You have ambassador, and then you have high commissioner. High commissioner is in England. This is simple. Is the same thing, but you have high commissioner
English
and in English. So you would say, okay, ambassador not there, but the high commissioner is there on it. But high commissioner is not there. When you go to H, there is no high commissioner. So it means therefore the ambassador and high commissioner that is representing the government in another country is not a post of, is not an office of emolument according to the meaning. Office means an office of emolument in the service of the state, specified in the first schedule.
But Clarence, very early in the conversation, you told us and you told the whole nation and everybody listening that Vince had not received a salary from government since January 2019. So the chairman of the accounts committee, he doesn't know that.
Well, he should know that.
If he doesn't know that, that is not information.
And he doesn't have a contract since January 2019.
But
Okay.
Clarence Kelly,
So that will take off the emolument part of it.
Even if he was getting and he had a contract, even if he had a but I said that from day one with you guys on the thing. Even if he had a contract, and even if he was getting a salary,
he still would not.
He still would not be disqualified because the office for emolument of ambassador is not on the first schedule of Act 27 of 1991.
It have a second schedule now?
There is a second schedule, but it's very, very short.
And it's not there either?
No, it's not there.
And have a third one?
No, you don't have a third one. It's a second schedule, but it's not there. Right? So, High Commission now is not there. And I am very disappointed, extremely disappointed in Judith Spestina. I felt shocked and disappointed as a former senior person, somebody who was in the high. Well, probably she would have been disqualified because she came from the public service as a public officer, and then she was moved. She did not resign from the public service, and then she was transferred to. So her substantive post was that in the public service, right? So because she was a substantive post, either she was a PS or what she was then, and then she was moved to be High Commissioner in England. So if she had to contest election, she would have to resign because her substantive post was PS and permanent secretary is on the list.
No, she was High Commissioner resident in Dominica?
No, in England, on that Freedom Party.
She was in England.
She was in England, but she wasn't PS anymore.
No, but I can't remember the thing, but anyway. But I think she was first a public officer, and then she was
made PS after.
Made PS after, and then when she came back, she was made PS.
But
this is my thing: the disappointment of Judith Spestina. I mean, you were a senior public officer holding the post of chief personnel officer in the public service. You would have a fair knowledge of the Public Service Act of 1991.
But Clarence, every one of them have the knowledge of what is the right thing, but that is not what they dwelling on. Because saying the right thing and agreeing with the right thing wouldn't give them nothing to.
Clarence and I had a talk yesterday, and I was telling Clarence, Senior Counsel has been here 3-4 times perhaps in the last 2 weeks dealing with that matter, and the precedents are there. John Williams' case is there. John Williams Charles Salvarez's case is there. Is your brother is there, right? We have other incidents, you know? But the people, Mr. Mate and Co. and Judith Spestina, they don't want to hear that. That's not important to them. What they're saying is that the law as it is not in their favor at this time. So they are hell-bent on changing the law in a manner that will cause confusion in Dominica.
But you cannot change the law now.
Okay, so it's like it's like starting a football game, and you agree the rules are that if you are defending the southern end of the Windsor Park, the goal on that side, and you touch the ball within the 18-yard box, it's a penalty. You start the game agreeing to these rules that the referee is in charge. The referee will create a penalty. You might even he might even ask you to leave the game. And midway through the game, you want to change the rules. And if the referee doesn't change the rules, you want to cause you want to cause confusion. This is what is happening. So Clarence is right. Tony Asavans is right. The people here, they're apart from the radio technician, the others are sufficiently experienced and intelligent people. Mr. Martin, Dr. IP, and Judith Pestinder. There's sufficiently intelligent people to know that what they're asking for 2 days before the election, you come in to ambush a candidate, and you're asking the chairman of the commission to do something, to exercise a power that he does not have in law. And if he does not exercise that power in law, it's problems. And that is just to discourage people from to frighten the people of Granby. And we're telling people of Granby, get out and vote. Come out, go and vote for Dr. Vince Henderson. Don't make people outside of Granby make you scared of going to exercise your franchise. You know, you need a parliamentary representative. The House is meeting next week, I understand. You want your pal rep to be in the House together with the other members of the government. And I think I'll send over what the point, Clarence. He was saying that Granby constituency is part of the government. And you're asking them to vote for a candidate that will not be in government. You know?
And
that will not be in government.
You know, Ghost, there are times you want to you support your party. Right? I cannot come here and have something black and white, whichever party in front of me, and support the party and things. So I would go, even though I don't embarrass you on the table, and say, look, guys, this is the situation. You must resign. Mm-hmm. Right? If I knew as a member, a long-time member of the Labour Party, and I knew Vince as a post of ambassador, in a post of ambassador was contesting, because I knew the public service, the schedule of persons that form office of emolument in the service of this, I knew, and this person have to resign. I would have gone to the act, because I knew, and see ambassador is on it.
Or High Commissioner.
Or High Commissioner. Even if I had seen High Commissioner on it, one could have seen High Commissioner and Ambassador is the same thing. That is how you're so careful.
One English
and one American.
Mm-hmm.
I could say Ambassador or High Commissioner. Even if I had seen High Commissioner, I say, guys, the court can say High Commissioner, and in my layman term,
yeah, it's synonymous.
It's basically the same thing. Mm-hmm. So I think you have to resign.
Right.
This is how we are in the Labour Party. We have the persons in the Labour Party doing the work.
Yeah.
So you cannot come here and when we tell you, look, this is the case. Even if Vince was getting a salary, even if he was getting paid, even if he had a contract, he still would not be disqualified, because the post of ambassador is not on the schedule of emoluments in the service of the state in the first schedule. And we have been showing people that over and over again.
Hear that, Rascally, and you asked the question earlier, Rascally, hear that. Form 13, House of Assembly Elections Act, Chapter 201. Form 13, Section 15. There are 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 items there. But item number 3. Here's the declaration among the many declarations that the candidates make. Declaration number 3. Hear what they're saying. I am able to speak and read the English language with a degree of proficiency sufficient to enable me to take an active part in the proceedings of the House of Assembly. If a gentleman cannot read a speech at his inauguration, how can he take part in the proceedings of the House of Assembly? And he took a declaration saying that he's able to do.
No, you see,
Well,
that is where we have to start bringing the standards up. And probably we have, in the thing, we have to say, at least you have to write a
comprehension?
100 words paragraph on a certain topic if you want to go up for election. So we can avoid all those kind of nonsense.
Really?
But gentlemen,
Read section 5. Read where it goes. Read 5 on this.
I do not hold, nor am I acting in any office of emolument in the service of the state.
Okay, let me read for you what is on the act. Office means any office of emolument in the service of the state specified in the first schedule. So
And you understood this schedule.
and the first schedule, so the office of emolument must be specified
In the schedule.
in the first schedule.
But as Mr. Clarence, these people, they are not interested in that.
That
They-
is the law.
no,
That
they
is the
want-
law. That is the act.
they
And those
want
of
to
you on Facebook, I am reading from the act number 27 of 1991. And Roosevelt Skerritt was not the prime minister. The Labour Party was not in office in 1991.
That Mamu, that Judith Pessinger's part.
And that Judith Pestina
Yeah.
was part of the government of the thing there. And signing a letter. This is what disappoints me. When you should come on radio, use your knowledge of the public service, use your knowledge of the act, and explain to the Dominican public. You take your signature and put on a letter to cause mischief.
Clarence,
This is the type of mischief making
Clarence,
of those
they
people.
are
That
not-
is why.
They are not interested in that. They are not interested in the facts. Yes, Rascal.
it's already 10 minutes going on after 9 o'clock. And the lights have been going all the while, the blue lights. But at the same time, let me just say, you see all what we're talking about there? We're addressing Afia and them fellas, and what we have to address tonight is the people of Granby for them to go to the polls tomorrow
Yeah.
and put a whipping on whoever it is on the other side. Because I think we're arguing about Section 4, Schedule 1. And
What goes we
and
have
we did a lot of that. We've done a lot of that. The senior counselor, I listen to him all the while and see me, and we do a lot of that. But tonight, if who not understanding that, we're talking about Afi and Sean Douglas and who again, Duran and the rest and IP. None of them going to vote in Granby, you know. They're trying to cause that problem. The rest of Moonseri and the rest, and they're not going to be voting. We know that education, and we know it's not about that. They're not about that. They know what it is. It's about of trying to create a problem, and we don't want that. What we want people to do tomorrow is go out to the polls, put your X. You don't want to put it by pins, put it by the shoe.
Yeah,
They put it by the shoe, and that's what we want to do.
Of course, basically, our people have to stay focused. We have to stay focused and do what we have to do tomorrow. Tomorrow,
That is what we have to do.
Tomorrow, people of Granby, if you are listening, go out and vote.
Reno, if you're listening, you can probably call. I don't know. The light has been going for quite a while, but you know, we usually have our conversations before. On the local line.
Good night, sir.
Yes, I bless.
How are you doing, sir?
You from Granby? Are you alive?
Well, but I have many first cousins in Granby, so I qualify.
Talk to us.
What I'm saying is that I agree with you, Ghost, about wasting time talking about that kind of stuff. What the people have to tell the people of Granby, the people of Granby have always been in government for a long time. It doesn't make no sense that if Handbag would say to win an election in Granby, that the people of Granby would put themselves in opposition. Nothing can happen to you when you're in opposition, my brother. I am talking about feeder roads. You can't do nothing in that. because he will be in opposition. So in other words now, nothing will happen to all you with handbag or whoever coming that not in the government. That don't make sense. So if you want prosperity and you want to move on, you have to move on with the combined government that inside to do what they have to do for you. All you have to ask the person that representing you, you work with them and ask them for proper representation. Representation is the key, you know. And the government for this time is representing the people. They're representing the people, so people are grande. It's go out and vote for Honorable Vince that he'll do things for you. And all you have to make sure that he do things for you as a person representing you. Sometimes we let people get away with things that they representing you and you're just getting away with stuff. But you as a people, you have to come together and work with your panel rep or work with the person that's going to represent you and let them do things for you. And if they're not doing anything for you, you have the right to take them out or throw them out or tell them, hey, look. And you have the right to call a press conference. You have to talk to the person that's representing you. That, hey, if you're not doing what you say you're going to do, we will deal with you. The people have the power in your hands. Then you have the power in your hands. And then the panel rep will look at you. But as I always say, tell people, Ghost, if you let somebody come and live in your house, you'd be a fool to let the person kick you out of your house. You don't think so?
A foolish joke.
Somebody bring you in your house, giving you butter, giving you cheese, giving you bread, they give you bed, they give you everything. And next thing, what you doing? You behaving bad for, and then the person kicking you out of your house, out of their house. Any house, look like Honorable Vincent doesn't enter. When he enter, if he let grandbaby people kick him out, that would be his own demise. That would be a problem. When he enter, you have to do what you have to do.
Definitely.
And never go back. I always tell people that, you know, when you see as a panel rep, you enter somewhere, my brother, represent that them people, even though you want to go, look at Honorable Skerrit, even though you want to go, people don't want him to go. Because he's representing the country, people, elderly people, small people. Nobody don't want him to go. Children don't want Skerrit to go nowhere, neither elderly people, nobody don't want him to go. Because he representing the country. You know, with all what he have. So it's a hard thing for Mr. Skerrit. Even though you want to go, people say, oh, parla ou kale, so, you know, those now workers, I telling you workers, people letting the devil use them. I tell them, most of them, Afi Martin, Afi Martin say, if he had a choice, no election hold tomorrow, you know. Who is Afi to say no election hold tomorrow for day? They give Afi a whole 2 rivers, all to know a bottle top cover cannot be filled by Afi Martin and you come here and talk. You know what nonsense? I tell you, a lot of the civil workers is nonsense. Look at Blessing, Cecil Joseph and Vince teach him to read and write. And all he doing is being ungrateful to them. Workers people, it's just a waste of time. Let me tell you something.
Yeah,
my last point. Let me tell you, you know his handbag that's supposed to be disqualified.
But we just read it there.
You just read it?
Yeah,
You want
to tell you because what? If you cannot read properly and write, you're not supposed to nominate according to the Constitution. My brother, if you can't read and write, you're not...
The English language, Big Six, the English language, that's the law. The English language. So if you're going to read and write Russian or Spanish or French or German, and you can't do English, you do not qualify for our...
Not qualified, so he's the one that is not qualified. All those smart people, Vince don't qualify. But his handbag are not qualified because he can't read and write. Sean Douglas write the man thing when they were launching him in big capital letters and Sean had to read for it because he can't read. Or you can go in parliament if you can't read and write. Is he that disqualified? That's what it's called. They're not checking that.
But Sean knows that. The same thing I tell you, all of them know what the law is, and they know they just playing on the emotions of people.
That's what they're doing.
You see that hate, like I always say, that hatred for Prime Minister Skerrit and the envy. Is an envy that bring that kind of thing with Afi and them, because Skerrit come out. Hold on, Skerrit come out from nowhere. If you wanted to be a prime minister, and the country boy just come and, you know, overtake, and they just cannot go through again, you know. Yes, Six, let me hear you.
Do you know that what Sean Douglas is doing there is a wicked deed by endorsing handbags?
He missing the breakfast on them, man. He missing the breakfast.
It's a wicked deed, and I don't understand. You go to school and then you as a person that have a first degree or 2 degree, you endorsing them and that carry on. You know what? Handbag put Sean head in his handbag, you know, and tied him a rope, you know.
I think so.
And he's brought up.
You think Sean would want somebody like Handbag to represent Portsmouth?
But we can shut them for a week. I don't understand them, fellas. Oh, but you know what happened? I think Handbag has the right to do them that because what? You know his Handbag that endorsed when Danny Lugie was supposed to be deputy leader. Lennox making deputy leader. You know his Handbag that overtakes that in Lapland.
Is it was in Lapland no, Mao?
Yeah, Lapland. At the conference, at the delegate conference in Lapland, Handbag came and Handbag Thing endorsed Thing Francis and mess up Danny Lugie.
But
So
I think Handbag should probably go for deputy. Their thing coming up in December, you know.
But
I
that's
think
what
Handbag should
but
push
that-
himself
but
for
that's what he
deputy.
did. Handbag put Francis inside in Lapland and they voted unanimously 180 something to 20 something for Francis Handbag. So Handbag have the right to do what he doing there, but let me tell you something. You see what Handbag do, Daniel and Linton? Linton and them fellas don't like Handbag. They just playing the game, but they don't like Handbag. Because Handbag messed them up in Lapland. Handbag messed up in Lapland. So that's why Handbag has the big mouth to do what he doing there. But they know, all them people know that Handbag is not qualified to run any election and to put on the ballot because he cannot read and write. That's the Constitution.
Okay.
Have a blessed night, my brother.
Good night,
What's
man.
up? Uh, 20 minutes going down after 9 o'clock. We here until 11. At 11, we go to the bishop. And we're talking tomorrow going to the polls tomorrow. That's what we're talking about on the local line.
Yes, Mr. Goshen, Mr. Ronald.
Yeah, good evening.
Parent.
Good evening, man.
I'm okay. I just want to correct Big Six. It's not Lapland, Grand 4. It was in Grand 4, not Lapland.
All
You hear
right.
me?
So that is it. You still
No.
you still on the road? You still on the road?
Contribution.
You still on the road?
No. I reach out by overlooking Sogo. I'm making sure Sogo okay. I watching over him, so.
You're probably praying to retreat. Now I see the big white truck pass you.
Huh?
I just
No, even if I on the road, I still doing what I have to do, you know.
okay.
On what Six was saying there on the education business there, it's just typical UWP. From inception, when Mamo was there under the Freedom Party, you forget it had a bugging allegation on stream until they kill the bug in their pocket. They believe that we Dominicans forgetting everything. And what they fail to realize, even if I'm not power with the technological savvy, but my little grandson there, you can get it for me. So they forget that latte. Let me tell Handbag, latte éclairé. That's why the Granby people have to go and vote in massive tomorrow and vote for Vince Henderson. Because don't forget, whilst Lennox Linton playing conman, giving Pierre Charles blows and saying okay a thing on Pierre Charles. Pierre Charles was educating children in the Grand Bay School. Where he was, what did he say he was in logistic he was doing?
Yes,
in
at DCP.
at DCP. I want him to explain what is logistic. Offloading a container. When a container come, you offload it. when you load in a container, you load it.
No,
Which is
Jamesy,
great, sir.
Jamesy, and to be fair and honest, logistics is a very significant position in any big company. It's very, 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 very. It's a senior position, logistics officer. So yes, I you know, we have our politics, but I mean, just for the benefit of educating the public, logistics is very, very serious responsibility.
Well, okay. Subject to correction, but he was in logistics. But Pierre Charles was molding and shaping young children. In my 2 cents, I think it was greater than the logistics, because you have to learn from kindergarten, first form, second form, and all else form there under Pierre Charles to do logistics. So for me, that's why I'm saying it's loading and offloading in a container.
Jamesy,
about that, you know.
Jamesy, you know he sent 2 containers, empty containers to Trinidad.
Well, that is his business. But I want to
That's the logistics.
I want to touch on the people of Grand Bay. I want to tell the people of Grand Bay, there's no mistake. It is clear before their eye. And tomorrow, I don't think I will have no headache. Because their man is wicked. They are wicked people. All their man trying to do is destroy Dominica and destroy all their focus is to get rid of one man, any means necessary, which is the Prime Minister Roosevelt Skerrit. And I know for a fact, and I see it and I bear witness of it, Roosevelt Skerrit was given unto us by God Almighty. So they can do what they want.
But Handback says God that sent him.
Let me tell you
One
something.
thing God have a malady in politics.
God can send him, but I bear witness. Ghost, if I have to explain something to you. In my youth day, I used to hear people that go in overseas, how they used to cry down Dominica and hoping. And they used to do the same thing what Roosevelt Skerrit exactly doing in Dominica by helping the poor people, giving them housing, taking care of the elderly. They was crying that down. That wasn't happening down in the time of Mamo, going back down to United Workers' Party. That wasn't happening. And I see it happening, and I have to say, praise God Almighty, it happened. So I don't of them. I'm a child of seeing things happening, and I doesn't forget things like that. I will touch on Afi Mate. Afi Mate, everything he gets himself involved, it is turn to shit and sand, because he is a greedy, selfish person. He only considers himself. Over the years, under the whaling business, how much, when Afi Mate was getting all this big money voting for whaling, what Afi Mate, whatever he gets, it was only for Afi Mate, because the organization was only for him and himself alone. Afi Mate fight down a man in Boboa, a Rasta man trying to make a garden. Afi Mate fight him down. I'll have to call his name. We talk about that. Afi Mate is just, Afi Mate one time was a freedom, right? Pro-freedom. Afi Mate come, workers, he leave workers, he turn labor. Labor give him the perfect opportunity. Minister of Agriculture, because at the time of what he pushing, of what he was pushing. It don't last 6 months. It don't last 6 months because they widening a road and building a wall closer in and to make expansion for a road. He resigned for that. He was lazy. He was a lazy man, and he will always be lazy. He will turn old like me. I grade old, you know. He will turn old like me. And he will never see political power. All he has to do, get angry himself and make noise with the country and cause people to hate other people. That is what Afi Mate is all about. That is what Afi Mate is all about. And Lennox Linton, I sent a clear message tonight for Lennox Linton. I want him to take on Joshua Francis on the topic Joshua Francis bring onto them. Don't forget that, even though we're going to a new year almost end, I want Matt Selke to bring Joshua Francis in. Bring Joshua Francis in. Bosa, here you play your song. Thank you and good night. Thank you and good night.
But you and I know that looks at the season. Still waters run deep. So watch it how you're running steep. Time and time alone will prove the story. And every eyes will see. Truth will reveal. The truth will reveal. Things that are hidden. I said the things that them high keep down in Babylon. Truth will reveal. The truth will reveal.
9:29 is the time. You're listening to Real Talk.
What is in your heart? Oh. Said the truth will reveal. I know the truth will reveal, yeah, now. Oh, expose them. Expose them. Truth will reveal.
Let's take this one on the local line. Good evening.
Good evening to you, Mr. Ghost, and welcome back.
Messi.
I miss you. I miss all you. Good night, Mr. Charles.
Good night. What's up, Janet?
Nothing not that up no more on your home.
Hey, Papa. Aye.
President name of the Lord for that. And Mr. Clarence Christian there.
Yes, it's good time.
Yes,
Good
Mr.
night.
I say good night to all you. Because Mrs. Alan Bilemo is a customer, but it's all right.
No, man, I mean, come on, come Bellevue.
Clarence toujours Bellevue, pas qu'à venir, ouais.
Bellevue, bon, we good. President name of the Lord.
Mais Clarence pas qu'à venir, ouais, il toujours là.
Moi, il pas qu'à venir, moi.
Ou pas pique.
Annette Paripon Ghost. Janet Paripon Ghost.
Because more power than white way. Who going to see me? So getting more power upon me, ma'am. Mr. Papa, nothing rather than white, so I can't invite you and the others. Anyway, I look at the Yamlama Heshua. I am not voting Grand Bay tomorrow, God spare. So I cannot say so much of what happening.
You can call somebody, call a friend, Janet, call a friend, an acquaintance, go out and vote.
Well, I mean, let me tell you something. Nobody haven't got to tell Grand Bay people to go out and vote. Trust me. Nobody haven't got, because let me tell you something. It's not yesterday Grand Bay people come in Labour Party, you know. Labour in the lab, just like the 20 years we stay in opposition, you know, you forget.
Let me tell you, see, this thing about people coming in, Grand Bay is Labour Party. They don't come in Labour Party. Grand Bay is Labour Party.
Exactly. When they used to say Labour was powder, it's Pickett Sarvan, Grand Bay and Portsmouth that was ranking in Labour, you know, we never let go. I mean, if all you want to let us go today, all you want to let us go to buy the workers and then that kicking all, you know, the boom boom there. That's not but I tell you now, the Grand Bay is always a Labour hold and Pickett Sarvan as well and Portsmouth. Everybody that come and tell you now there is Porto. It's a good thing I not Porto again. Because that doesn't make sense. Porto, and they crooking the government, taking all what the government giving them, and they malpale in the government. It's a little thing I hear. No, but what belong must swear.
All right. After election, we'll talk about that.
Something, Mr. Charles. Mr. Charles, all the actions and them pay. I pay them to do for me. Mr. Charles, sorry. Okay.
No, you broke up. You broke up here. I didn't get that point there.
The Asian she tell you about there, but she'll tell you in another show.
I don't think nobody. I love all of you because it's one thing I just tell people when I speak, I speaking for everybody.
Janet, when next you in Roseau?
And that's why, if you want me to come out tomorrow, I want you for more like I spray.
Have you received a call from the office?
Mm-hmm.
No?
No, sir. No, sir.
Okay.
He'll call you tomorrow.
I had two people visited me, but then I already know it's me not going to get more visit in my life already.
Okay. I'll follow up on your matter in the office tomorrow.
We got next week Wednesday, we've got strike calling you. We'll definitely stop.
Okay. Okay, no problem. Yeah.
Yes, Anna.
All right.
Take care.
My tongue yet, you know, I tell you already, another Labour Party do over there. I'm a Labour Party when Labour was in powder, and I'm a born Labour right. I don't have nothing from Labour, but I will never stop voting Labour.
C'est ça, moi, Metan.
Good night.
Merci.
Thank you, Janet. Good night.
Merci. Like the energy. We're going to London. Good evening to you, London. You've been there waiting for a while.
Yes, big man. How are you?
I'm alive, surviving by the grace of the Almighty.
Amen. Mr. Christian, how you doing?
Mr. Christian, how you doing?
Good night. I didn't have my headphone on. Sorry about that.
What happened?
Good night.
You end up in a dream there, man.
No. I just
Janet, what happened? Because I say you don't go and visit her, you
No.
feeling guilty?
The headphone sometimes it sing me. I sorry about that. I was hearing Janet on the monitor.
Okay.
But when you turn on the mic, the monitor is going off. I didn't put it back
Anyway,
on.
let's go to London.
Yes. And Franco, let me say a good evening, special good evening to you, man.
Hey, what's up, my friend?
I'm good, man. Just there enjoying the cold weather.
What's the weather like? It's cold, yeah?
In your fridge. Yeah, your kubulu in your fridge is even hot considered to what the weather is these days, man.
I heard your beer still on the porch. There's no need for fridge.
Well, you know something, drinking your thing in England? I can remember when you out there and your beer in your hand, that never getting hot, you know. It always cool.
Yeah.
But some people will put in the milk on the window, you know.
Mm-hmm. You know, I saw at my brother's house in London, you know, that his beers, you know, he keep it on the porch. You know, that's put it on the porch.
Man, that'd be cool. If man brother inside of your house, your beer will be cool, I tell you. Serious, no joke. These days, it is really cold, man. But yeah, man, on the subject of discussion tonight, man, let me ask you all a question. How many candidates is contesting the by-election in Granby?
According to Clarence Erasta and two others.
If you ask the electoral office, they'll tell you 3.
3 candidates. Now the question is, why is it that the UWP is asking to vote for Handbag specifically?
Because he's the candidate. No he, no ha about that. He is a candidate.
So 3 candidates is going up. You refuse to send up a candidate because you said
no. They sent handbag. They sent handbag.
Yeah. We know that. We know that. But according to them, they refuse to send up a candidate because no electoral reform. No, they're not contesting the election. But yet still, they are even more engaged in the election, more than Labourites themselves. Doesn't that tell people something?
Well, their candidate was going to win until about this week when they realize, hello, and then they're trying to plot our candidate. They're trying to win by default.
Yeah, they're trying to
by default.
Trying to win by default.
But let me tell you something. Strange enough.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
I have not heard any of the lawyers in the concerns, the lawyers that are supporting them. Not one lawyer has gone on radio and says anything different to what I have said there tonight, or give them solace. So all those who are talking, not one of those lawyers, we are people like Elio Charles, we are all of them. They have not said a single word.
Yeah. But the thing is, they wouldn't be able to challenge because
they cannot challenge. They cannot challenge the legal thing of thing. This is the thing. They just can't.
Yeah, but why they don't advise the leader on the legality of the situation?
Because he doesn't take legal advice. He doesn't take advice. He goes on there to do his mischief. He put it out there, and then the people take it because for them, everything that comes out of the mouth of this man, this man, Lennox Linton, is gospel.
Repeat, you know. That is true. Everything that Lennox say, they just repeat without even going and do their research themselves. And that is why I was saying to them, to our workers' party, even tonight, that look, Lennox Linton is the head of the Public Accounts Committee. And Lennox choose to write the police commissioner. You with me, Ghost, or?
Yeah, idea.
Yeah, I was saying Lennox choose to write the commissioner of police and not writing the director of audit or the accountant general or the Ministry of Finance, asking them whether Mr. Vince Henderson is receiving salary from the government. As head of the Public Accounts Committee, those are information Mr. Clarence, I would imagine he can get, can he not?
I mean, if he had a rapport, because I know when I was director of audit, Edison James, Ron Green had a rapport, and even some PAL rep, some of the opposition PAL reps like Joseph Isaac, Isidore. All of those guys had a rapport with the director of audit. So if they wanted any information, I mean, is government finance and things, so they would know anyway because it's going to be laid in Parliament. They ask a question, I would tell them, no, what you're saying is not true, and this is the case. So, I mean, the current director is a very pleasant lady. I mean, very nice to a very approachable person. So if Lennox Linton wants an information and things, so I'm like, okay, is somebody getting paid on the service? She may not give you the amount she gets in and things. So all she has to do, yes, he has a valid contract and he's getting paid. Simple as that. You don't have to give you the amount. She don't have to give you the amount.
I said already, if you're looking for good legal advice, you would leave senior counsel and the other attorneys in the AG's office and go to Mount Daniel for legal advice. I mean, consider that.
What do you mean by that, Franco?
Consider that.
What do you mean by that?
The man talking about a lawyer that go all the way up to London, we.
The man go in England and represent himself without a lawyer against legal advice. The man went in England against legal advice. So if they can go to the man in Mount Daniel for advice now. But Lennox knows it all, you forget, man. Lennox knows it all, you know. You check? And the thing about it is, since when Granby comes so much in them people's mouth, if Ed didn't die, they wouldn't be talking about Granby. When Lennox Linton was talking about Granby, he used to criticize Pierre Charles.
Yeah, we bring down Pierre Charles.
Yeah.
Bring down Black Country Bookie, we.
You know, they believe people just forget them things, you know, goes. They think because people doesn't take them on and people doesn't argue with them and think people forget. From the time Lennox called Pierre Charles' name, everybody remember all what Lennox said about Pierre Charles? Lennox is the one who said Pierre Charles in Dominica, when Pierre Charles was Prime Minister, he said, in St. Vincent have a doctor, in this have a doctor, that have a doctor, in Dominica we have a patient. Franco can remember that?
All of us can remember that.
He called the Prime Minister of the country a patient. Dr. Liverpool, a product of Granby. A product of Granby. When a man who made his name in the legal fraternity, a judge, you want to call him a black, ugly, kunu, munu, or country bookie, whatever you want to call him, and you think people just forget them things? I mean, when it comes to the election, I'm not even talking about handbag because this is like a handbag against a suitcase. So I'm not even talking about Mr. too much because, I mean, everybody knows that handbag there is no way. My whole concern is, and I tell Vince that, he better make handbag lose his deposit. That is all my concern is, you know. That little money that handbag put there, $500, that need to go into the treasury. Because that money, and I think the government needs to raise the price goes.
500. Well, I'm got a problem with that. I'm not going up again.
$500 what? You can pay $500. Anybody just come and as Franco rightly said tonight, that one of the qualifications to become a candidate, not only in a to contest a political election or you call it papal rep, even in the council, you have to be able to read and write English. And a man confessed he cannot write and speak English, but yet still he become a candidate to run an election in Dominica. And Lennox don't find nothing wrong with that law which the man broke.
And so I'm London. This is what the people of Granby have to choose between tomorrow.
They will. What they're going to
Dr.
do.
Henderson, who can run in any constituency, eminently qualified. Never mind the noises around. He's eminently qualified. He'll bring a lot of respect, and a representation to the people of Granby. He'll raise the quality in the House of Assembly, of debate in the House of Assembly. Can you imagine handbag with Danny and Spags in the House of Assembly? Can you imagine
but
that?
I believe. Let's go Kukulanda a little bit. I think handbag in the house. Every Dominican, whether in the diaspora,
to listen,
would
tune in.
Would tune in to listen.
Ghost will not even go down there. To me, I cannot even figure that. I mean, that is just out of order.
Kukuland we go. I don't
go in Kukuland with you because I don't even thinking of that.
Well, say your Fufuland.
I don't even go in Kukuland with you. I'm thinking of that.
Yeah, so the people of Granby, will decide, and we're encouraging them. Go out to tomorrow. Make that statement.
Bro, I am calling a spade a spade. It is an insult. It is a complete insult.
Disrespect.
And disrespect to the people of Granby.
For man like Sean to leave Portsmouth.
Complete respect.
And go right Granby and trying to tell them to.
I am from the greater Granby community. I come from Pichland, the greater Granby community. It is an insult for the people from Bellevue Chope going right up to Fiditsavan. It is a complete insult and a disrespect.
And for the lawyers, the lawyer from Washington and the judge from Ontario, to come and link up via video and to tell people about Bala and Congaree and Facel and those things there. Can you imagine?
Tell them people we don't want to hear about Bala and Congaree. Them time passed. Tell them that's why they was stuck in the old days.
In 2021, you want to send Ilinteri to Parliament and you're talking about Bala and Congaree?
Yeah,
you'll talk about Viabird Senior? No, man.
The thing about it, Granby is accustomed to high-level representation. You know about Pierre Charles, was a former teacher,
community man,
rep, become prime minister, and now become prime minister. Dr. Nurse Charles, she was a nurse. She represents, John Fabian. These people receive people with of stature, great stature.
But
but
they could have sent. Yeah, they could have tried to convince the ambassador to come back. They could have tried to convince Dr. Willie here.
But
Dr. Willie is here.
He will not renounce his citizenship. He will not.
But Dr. Willie is here, PhD. He's here.
Yeah.
And they have other people in the public service. They could not convince somebody in public service.
But Franco, without chipping you there, as you on that. They said, because Roosevelt Skerrit say that they see nobody in Granby that can represent them. Okay, I asked one yesterday, is there anybody in the UWP in Granby that can represent the people of Granby? Of course, I said, why didn't you send them there? If you have people you think that is qualified and that is capable of representing the people, you have that individual and you're still not sending them? And now you want to stay on the pot and they're talking and telling the people about Granby and don't vote for Vince and vote for Handbag.
But here's what a powerful Granby lady said today on a chat. The bird is already dead. Tomorrow is to roast it. Tomorrow they're going to roast the bird. So
you still got away now. Rotten days, are you?
No, it have all kind of bird. Is what kind of bird that one is because not all bird we eat in here.
It have sisses there, it have cacklebird.
Mescabo.
You check all them kind of a thing there, you know. You check. But the thing about it, is that Vince has broken no law to contest the election in Gambia. The Constitution gives a citizen to contest election anywhere. Anywhere. So we have no vote where you live kind of a thing. Because Lennox Linton himself does not live in Marigot, hardly visit Marigot, and he's the parliamentary representative for Marigot. If Vince break a law, my brother, come and tell the people of Dominica
what law?
Which law that Vince has broken. Yeah. That is what these people, they just make general statements. They just say what they feel, what is in their head.
In fact,
Tell
London.
the people, look. Yeah, go on.
Yeah, in fact, you have some of them walking around and they're just chanting the Constitution, the Constitution, the Constitution, and they can read the Constitution, you know.
But they cannot even.
They can read the Constitution, the Constitution.
But no. Let me tell you something. If something is in an act of parliament, and Loftus does that a lot, he cannot differentiate. Loftus Durant, he cannot differentiate between an act of parliament and the Constitution. So anything that in the law they say is the Constitution. The Constitution.
Yeah.
Sometimes the thing is a simple act of parliament, you know, or an SRO. An SRO thing. Anything, whether an SRO, RNO, or is an act of parliament, you see, or the Constitution say that. And the Constitution say that. I mean, those guys here, I mean, they
just repeating it. They just repeating it. But the Constitution that is the reason why they always lose cases. Because they always interpret a little law against the Constitution, they interpret this, they make reference to this. Because the Constitution is clear. It's like when Roosevelt Skerritt was contesting the election. No law could not prevent him from getting nominated as a candidate. No law. And the court has proven that. And if you feel Vince Henderson is breaking the law, bring the law, take it to the court, and you can take action because the law exists. The law exists. If you think it exists, so take it to the court. But they don't do that. All they want to do is to wake up their supporters, come this, say that, say this, make trouble. And when I look at these people that protesting and I look at this, I say, but hold on now. How many of our young people that can look at any one of these people and be as an example? These people have a history. Afimate. He had his business. Where is your business, my friend? If you're so good and you're so competent and you're so educated, you have nothing to show the young people that this is your legacy. You came into government. You was in workers. You jumped every party that you, even your own party you formed. You came into Labour Party. The Labour Party won the election. They made you Afimate a Minister of Agriculture. They made you that. You could not even represent the farmers as a minister. They give you to make an integrated development plan. Everybody know the chaos and the gibberish you presented. And I don't want to get personal, but sometimes we have to. How could you have a man like Afimate telling anybody anything about moral and respect and honesty?
London boy.
Bank nothing, you know.
London, not to choke like mommy, no, not to choke yourself like mommy.
No, but for real, these people get me angry. You check, you have these people who have what they're capable of, or what they're supposed to be capable of. They're not performing in it. You check, they're not. And you want to tell this government what to do? A man like Roosevelt Skerritt that have a track record of performance from city going primary school. Left primary school, go PSS, become a prefect, come to the college, went to university, taught at the college, ran elections, become a minister, and now prime minister, have the economy shaped so well. In a time of disaster, in a time of chaos, the economy still stands. None of our social program has been suspended. Meeting our obligations as opposed to the United Workers' Party. And you want to tell me that we must take a blockhead like Lennox Linton to replace him And I don't surprised they have Handback as a candidate, you know, because that is you just look at them. Look at Danny, look at Sprags who went to school. And I mean, nobody will say Sprags went to school. Look at them. Just look at them. They had one in Scotland up there. Just look at them. How could you compare? I mean, I feel insulted as a fellow Granberrian myself to have Handbag running against Vincent Desson. I don't even know why that should even be.
Well, that is
anyway. I don't think Handbag is the issue, but anyway, I really said my piece. I mean, it's not a matter of being a bus driver. If it's not a bus, because go see you're a bus driver. You carry taxi, you drive a bus.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't want any bus driver to believe that you're bringing down it's not a bringing down a bus driver, because you have very, very bus drivers
I know
who are
a lot
very
intelligent
bus drivers who can understand and read the English language very well. So it is not a thing about bringing down bus drivers. I mean, I do not understand
not many people talking about bus driver, you know.
Right.
It's just stupid. He cannot read and write. That's what it is.
Right.
It's not about being a bus driver. We have a lot of bus drivers, I can tell you them, intelligent, that can read and write, and they would go up. I mean, they even equate him with Maduro.
Yeah. Anybody who's denying the capabilities or otherwise of the gentleman,
Dr. Henderson.
They're just mischievous.
Yeah,
you know, they're just mischievous.
Vincent Henderson has a record of performance.
Dr. Henderson came from an ordinary man from Backstreet St. Joe, got an opportunity to better himself. You know, as a teacher, as a student at university, he came back down, immersed himself in the community. He got involved in the politics, in the parliamentary representation politics. He served as government minister for 10 years across how many ministries? Agriculture, housing, education, foreign affairs. Okay.
Communication and works.
I'm not sure about common works, but he served in various ministries.
I think he used to be minister of communication.
Okay.
I almost said
distinguished himself there. He got a call for another service in the external affairs of Dominica at the UN. He went there, you know, and then to the OAS and the United States.
OAS.
He made value. He made his time worth it, you know.
Right.
And he
did not waste his time.
He distinguished himself. But
that's what Clarence said last week. That Franco, I don't want to trip you. Sorry about it, because I need to get off the line because I need somebody else to call. That's why Mr. Clarence said last week that there is this piece of jealousy, Lennox envy and hate. Lennox Linton having his heart, because he cannot understand that he feels that he's eloquent and so on and so forth, and therefore you have persons who may be not eloquent as him serving in higher position than him. He's jealous of these people because his time passed. He has nowhere to go anymore. You understand? He had the opportunity to educate himself. He had the opportunity to become a lawyer because he was in privileged position. But rather than he go to school and learn, he go to school and fight. You came out from school, they give you a job, the NASIP gave you a job, and you are more ungrateful to them than anybody else. Lennox Linton, history is about evil. Knock down a little boy, everybody know that. Jam a little boy, a child. And did not even stop it. And you want to come and tell people how to do this and how to do that. Because if Lennox Linton, your history, I tell you, alone will take you to hell, my brother. Because you're wicked, you're dangerous, you're evil, you're mischievous. And everything you are doing is to cause confusion in the country. But I will tell you, Lennox, I will tell you in closing, you will never, ever see what is it you want to see, which is Prime Minister in Dominica. Gentlemen, I'm listening. Continue to do a good job. I call all my family in Granby I could have reached and already tell them what we're doing, and I will continue to do that. Tomorrow morning, same thing. Tomorrow, we convince with Dr. Vince.
Yes,
have a good evening, my brother.
God bless up and go and take care of Weddy.
Never.
On the local line, good evening.
Yes, good evening to you guys.
I go on, Piero.
Yes, hello.
Good evening to you, Piero.
Yes, man. How is everything going?
We are live with.
Cool.
Okay. I just want to add my piece to that, and I'm looking forward to see Vince tomorrow in as the elected parliamentarian for Granby tomorrow, because I know the people of Granby. They're very smart people, and I believe that Vince will get between 1,000 feet to 1,005, somewhere along that line. He'll get voted in. You understand? Them people and them, they are doing what they have to do. And as I said, they are very smart people, because it's not now Granby has been voting for Labour, and even in the 1980s, if you look at even when you look at the numbers in 1980, if the Labour Party had stuck together, they would have won the election, because at that time the Labour Party was split in three. And if you added the votes in 1980, it actually came to more than what the Freedom Party got, and they only voted in 1980, and 1985 they were back to Labour. So, but the other people that were on the road and talking a whole set of nonsense, they're non-entities. I mean, when Judy Pestino was the leader of the Freedom Party, she actually did not bring anything new to the Freedom Party. I don't think she ever brought any new youth to the Freedom Party. So whether just Judy Pestino comes out and speaks, nobody's listening to just Judy Pestino. Only Judy Pestino alone that's listening to herself. I don't think this other guy came out as well, that doctor, if he wants to fight for the leadership of the United Workers' Party with Lennox, that is he and Lennox. But whether he comes out and talks, basically people are not listening. And as for Afi, I myself don't spend time thinking of Afi, because Afi is not bringing anything new to the table. It's the same thing over and over. So it's not to say he's doing anything of significance. So as I said, looking forward, encourage, I know the people and them, and Vince have his team on the ground. They would have had their machine well oiled and ready to go first thing tomorrow morning. In fact, if you look on DNO, you'd have seen a report that, if you look on DNO News, you'd see that there was a report that they have to actually replace 2 individuals, I think, because of contracting COVID. So the electoral commissioner, the electoral officer to replace 2 individuals. If you look on the news, you'd have seen that. So they have their machinery ready and ready to go. So I guess by Monday, the parliament will be sitting on Monday. So by Monday, he should be elected. He should be, I guess, taking his will be sworn in on Monday after the election.
Yes,
so guys, I'm listening to you all.
Yeah,
have
man.
a good evening.
Bless up. On the overseas line, good evening. It's 1 minute going down after 10 o'clock.
Hey, go say good night.
I got my brother.
Cool, man. What happening now?
I alive.
Yes, good to hear you in the studio, man.
Yeah, well, it have a clong that they call in what? Something Timothy. Let me just say, call me Mother for being in the studio for you. That must be a blue millibug. you read that one?
No, I'm saving my battery because my battery is a bit low.
Yeah, a Franklin Timothy.
Yeah, good night. What's up?
But there is an Alan Hill from Salisbury.
He wanted to go for Salisbury.
So he spending all his data for looking at us on Facebook. Thank you very much, Alan Hill, for getting educated from the crew here on Kyrie FM. Thank you very much for listening.
And I also say thank you to Timothy too, Mother.
Yes. Go. If they continue to follow the program, and if they listen to what you're saying, and instead of trying to be argumentative, I'm sure they will start to sing a different tune.
Yeah, they will.
What you are doing is putting out the facts and putting out the truth. So let them listen.
We're not Q95 even if you send them the truth. Like I sent, when I hear this, I sent Matt the law. I highlighted the law to him. Not my what I saying. I sent him the law, and I highlighted the law to him. act of parliament to him
Section of the law.
on the section of the law. And he refused, and he keep on taking on these other guys, not reading the law.
But Clarence Oliver, I don't know, no? Only a time to it, boy.
No, but how can you go? I cannot further read that. I mean, this is the law, and you go in against the law.
Like I tell you, they know that. They know it. Afi knows it. Lennox knows it, but that is not what they want.
That's my point.
That's not what they want.
That's
That's why I tell you, even though we say it how many times and they read it how many times, is emotion, and let us see how the other one, they send Loftus go to America to learn how to create confusion and for black people to fight one another, and that's all that going on. They know.
They know.
Right.
They want to create a state of dysfunction in Dominica.
That's all.
And so some authority will overreact because we all
somebody will get hurt.
Yeah, we're all human beings.
Yeah.
We are all human beings.
Dictator.
And that's what they want.
Dictator.
And that is exactly what they want.
Donny said there, tonight just before I come, I listened to one talking about Dominica as a dictatorship, and the one for PSU on his program haven't tell Mr. not one thing, and the man talking about bloodshed because he's a dictator, and to get rid of the dictator there will be bloodshed, and I seen wait a while
on the PSU program.
Yeah, I seen wait a while now. That's a what kind of program now? Anyway, Donny, let's hear you.
Well, he should be explaining the hold on, Donny. He should have been explaining as the General Secretary of the Public Service Union, explaining the Public Service Act and Schedule 1 and those persons.
You want to do that?
Those persons who cannot, because this is the education you should be giving.
That is not fitting with what they want to do, Clarence.
That's right.
That's not in line with what they want to do.
Yes, that's right. That's right.
Yes, brother.
Yeah, but I want to be brief tonight. What I really want to do tonight is to encourage the people of Grand Bay to go out and vote in massive numbers. Our victory in Grand Bay is already assured. I mean, there's only but one candidate really of substance in this election. But we want to make a major statement in Grand Bay. All right? Dr. Vince Henderson is a top-notch, top-quality candidate, a man who can represent you not just nationally but regionally and internationally. Right? He has walked the ground. He has spoken to the people. The people have embraced him. He has been honest in his conversation with them. He has listened to their concerns. And this is the beginning of something really fantastic for the Grand Bay constituency. Right? So we know it's going to be a victory for Labour Party, but we do not want to take anything for granted. We want to go out there in massive numbers. Everybody go out there and vote. Right? Don't say that we win already and they don't need your vote. We need every single vote in Grand Bay. Let us demonstrate to the naysayers and the negative people that Labour is a force, has been a force, and will always be a force in Grand Bay. And none of the little shenanigans and the little distractions is not going to, steer us off course. Right? We have a lot of work to do. This party has been working for the people of Dominica and of Grand Bay, and it will continue to do so. We have a lot of work to do. We have serious issues to confront. We have serious plans to implement. Let us go out and make that statement. You have a very, very experienced, qualified, proven, hardworking candidate in Dr. Vince Henderson. Let us show him support. Let's make a statement. Because you what's going to happen. After election is over tomorrow, you will not hear not one statement from Q95 or Matt or Linton or Afi about Grand Bay anymore.
They might ask for audit, man.
Sorry, can you hear me?
They might ask for an audit.
No. They don't ask for audit, my friend. They're not going to ask for any audit, right? These guys, like you all say right now, these guys are trying to stir up problems, trying to mislead people, trying to incite people to cause problems. And after the victory has been And I've been warning Granby, you will no longer hear Afi about Granby anymore. They'll go to something else. Right? They don't care about Granby people. They never have cared about Granby people. As a matter of fact, in 1995, the first year Workers' Party won election in Dominica, 1995, they came to Granby, they sent the police to Granby to shoot Granby people. I was there. Okay? I was there.
Bloody
They
Tuesday.
came and opened machine gun fire on Granby people. And people who people who were innocent got killed. That's the love there for Granby people. Edison James came and he said he's going to straighten up Granby. And that was one of his first actions he took. Yeah, and Hilarion, for his last name, got shot. I saw it with my own two eyes. Open machine gun fire. Give the police authority to open machine gun fire on innocent people in Granby. And Granby people should never forget that. So let us go out there and have a massive victory. Every other person afterthought who on the ballot will lose their deposit. Right? And this is going to be the start of great things. I am assured of that for the Granby constituency. You have made your concerns. You have given your vision to the power rep, and I know he's going to work with you along with the government and the Prime Minister to bring Granby major development. I am very, very, very sure about that. Confident about that, right? So that's all I want to see tomorrow. Massive victory. Take nothing for granted. Everybody go out and vote for Dr. Vin Henderson and the Dominica Labour Party. My friends, thank you very much, and have a wonderful evening. I appreciate everything you do every week on the radio, and keep up the good work.
And you're part of it to say everything we do on the radio.
Thank you for putting me in great company. Ronald, I sent you an audio clip.
Yes, in a while, yeah.
And Ghost, let me just explain the polling station.
Bless up, bro.
Yes, I.
Let me just explain the polling station because it's not as usual before COVID. There are two venues in Granby for voting: the Youth Center and the Pierre Charles Secondary School. These are the only places you go out to vote, and that is because arrangement made because of COVID.
Okay.
So that is the Youth Center. Well, they are all the two venues.
Okay.
Two venues. So, but 13 or 14 polling stations. But the 14 polling stations are located in two venues. The Youth Center in Granby and the the Pierre Charles Secondary School. So those of you in Highland or in Mabouché and things, so their buses and cars and vans will be picking you up and taking you back at your home. So there is nothing to think about walking. If you cannot walk, I think so. And if you do not have a mask, masks will be made available to you. Every bus on the route will have masks to make available to you if you do not have a mask. So you will get your mask, and vehicles will pick you up throughout the constituency. And the Tetmon and Martin is the usual voting place. That is arranged, but vehicles, as usual, will be available to take you to vote. And mask, if you do not have a mask, but take your mask at your home, carry your mask. But in case you do not have a mask will be given to you. There will be sanitizers on the buses, on every vehicle. There will be hand sanitizers. So you will be sanitized on every vehicle. The driver of the bus will sanitize you, your hands and things so. And if you do not have a mask, you will be given a mask. But make sure you have your mask. And we're telling the people to go out to vote in masses in Granby.
Yeah, we'll come back to that important information.
Pas venir désorganiser nous en politique nous. Vin c'est moun pour de famille, c'est moun la wilaya. Wazir merci. Ça me laisse si sorti Saint-Jo, si sorti Marie-Galante, nous moun pour accepter. Il fait ça sortir en space. Mais nous accepter. Jump high, jump low, say. Et bien nous devons voter un million de fois. Parce que nous les bons pour nous. Nous les bons pour nous. Mais c'est pas vraiment dit ça, massif aujourd'hui. La pouillère plus chère qu'il a veillé. En papa il a mis quand il a veillé. En papa il a mis quand il a veillé. Songez ou pas venir en place indienne avec une indienne. Ou que vous en place où vous pouvez. Puis c'est pas où vous n'avez pas passé. Mais ou pas venir en Gombe avec jouer chéri. Pas venir en jouer chéri, c'est planifier avec ses problèmes qu'on a mettre. Bon Dieu, oui, ma couille là. Et celle bagaille moun pas qu'à l'oublier c'est vijaille. Celle bagaille ou pas si poser l'oublier c'est vijaille. On y garde vijaille bien. Pour depuis elle la déclencher, c'est ici. Parce que moun pas qu'à la sans bâton. Eh bien, si la ni soldat, eh bien, on sait ça bien. Si la ni soldat, on sait la avec elle, parce que ça, c'est pour faire. Mais où est-ce qu'ils ont pas fait action? Il débat fire. Il débat fire. Garçon, où est-ce qu'il se meilleur, oui, mais. Pour chez Rastazo, nous ne supportons pas interférer en politique pour que nous ne pouvons pas changer. Pour les nous pas cool. Nous pas pris cool. Mais où ça va ton poteau, nous pas mettre en descendre, baba. Et bien vite. Pas faire mon égouille, frère. Business façon, où était Churchill, c'est meilleur, oui, mais. La pouillère plus chère qu'il a veillé. Pour bon Dieu, oui, mais ma clé là. Ton jump, pas ton no full. All right. On va faire couper bien. Monsieur, gardez bien, pour des filles, on peut blesser. Gardez bien, des filles, on peut blesser. Quand ça fait voter là, non? L'homme n'est pas qu'à voter, l'homme n'est qu'à bien voter. Eh bien là, il va dire sec.
All of them are pretty bad.
Là, il va dire sec.
Nothing done the friendly.
Pas mettre problème en politique, nous. Parce que nous attendons des nouvelles qui passent. Eh bien, tout le monde attend. Nouvelles qui passent, eh bien, nous attendons. Mon papa est massoir. Mon papa est massoir. Mon jour, il condamné. Mon lèvre d'abord. Mon y comme les enfants, mon y comme les bonnes children. Je peux continuer. Ça fait tout le ski pour au Calvas qui vient à couler. C'est 2 week-ends de Calvas. C'est 2 week-ends de Calvas. Ça fait tout le ski qui vit au plan. Nous n'y voit. Avec vous, nous n'y voit si. Vous voyez, vous êtes sorti, c'est merveilleux, mais vous allez camper ça. Ni en souhait. Nous dit, bousculer, caresse à montagne. Nous avons tapé nouvelle là. Les gens chancés. Nous avons fait nouvelle là, ça. Parce que si nous sommes moutons là, c'est ça de ça. On y voit, nous sommes d'accord, nous cool. Donc les bagages chauffés, il va venir plus chaud. Plus bagages chauffés, plus chaud. Où est-ce que c'est meilleur, oui, mais. Pour chez Rasta, par exemple, nous devons supporter ça. Pas notre politique pour nous voir des frères. Même si vous sortez en l'ancien, nous devons accepter. Ils n'ont pas accepté ça qu'il a. Nous ne pas accepter. C'est nous qui devons. Pour tous ces gens qui sont intelligents, pas monter. Tous ces gens qui sont intelligents, qui sont éduqués, pour qu'ils ne pas monter. Tout full in a pond, no matter who swim, go for them get drunk. Et ça qui a fait là, tout full in a pond, go for them who swim, go for them get drunk. Et bien c'est ça dans les ballons. Derrière mon cavalier, c'est éduqué pour nous monter. Défendre pas ça. Pour dire, il n'y a pas qu'à monter. Il va y avoir une mauvaise chose, il va parler qui va faire. Il va y avoir un passeport, il va parler qui va faire. Il va tout le monde y répéter. Ma vie, il va y avoir un bon qui monte. Nous ne pouvons pas y monter. Il se mon problème monter. Il dit mon nid, nous ni mon nous. Nous passons il va monter. Ils sont gros non. Mais let sleeping dog lie. Ok? Quittez chien qui a dormi, quittez dormi. Alright. Ouais, mon averti, ça qui lève bon les cabres café fort. Ça qui lève ta cabre chololo. Chololo c'est ma café. Chololo c'est ma café. Nous levez bon café fort. Je ne sais ça nous pas nous lever bon l'air. Vous voyez mon avertissement. Ouais, quelqu'un qui nous est meilleur, oui, mais. Never wake a lion when it's sleeping. Parce que pas ça il est fait. Pas comprendre que quand nous la carré les voler pour tout bagaille oreille. Vous va nous ka couper nous ka tchan. Qui est pas ou on va avertir. Les alarmes là qui déclenché. Mais ça si on est arrivé moto à pied avec 6 ans diesel ou 6 ans qui mettait sur vaisselle libre. Les bagailles là qui chauffé. Mais ça si on est à la vaisselle social, si il faut couler besoin tout. Bon pas comprendre ça quand il n'a metté problème avec ça quand il drive vers aller. Il t'a mis ça. Si il a dit soldat, on se chaud, mais on est non. On se chaud, mais on est non. Et bien c'est pas n'importe nom, mais non qui nomme. Il dit man, il dit zaman, peut-être que c'est zaman.
Yes, Fathead, yes, Fathead, yes, Fathead.
Yes, Fathead. But I told them guys, those fellas, they want to go, and I have a very good. I mean, he's the thing. Do not go up to Grand Bay to put trouble. Do not go up to Grand Bay to put trouble. Do not wake up the sleeping lion, guys. The fellas at Mounsevier, El Bruno, Loftus Dura. Do not wake up the sleeping lion. This is what I'm telling all you. Do not wake up the sleeping lion.
Fathead, tell them.
Fathead, tell them, okay.
No, but
let us hear.
You know what I think? I think we should emphasize that it has to be a peaceful process.
Yeah.
A peaceful process. Let the people of Granby exercise
their franchise.
Them go and do that.
And you hear Fathead say, hand back from Granby, he have his right to go up.
Yeah.
But when all you want to leave, all you're not living in Granby, all you want to go up there to put problems, all you will get it. Yes, on the overseas line. Hello.
Mr. Kelly, how are you?
Auntie, what go on?
How are you?
Auntie, just fine. I'm there, Mr. My name again, Franco.
Yes, Mike, how are you?
Mr. Clarence, good night. I'm there, Miss Franco, quite cool. Right, Kelly, what go on?
I see you fighting my battle for me. Don't worry with the murderer, man. On Facebook. If I connect, I connect, but you want to tell me what I do. It must be a blue. He and the hill.
It has to be a blue.
Yeah. Sick blue.
The blue, this blue self, you're out of order, not of police. Because maybe he couldn't do his job, man. You had one of his bullets in your colors.
Yeah,
so you had to at midnight.
You have to.
So you had to murder it at midnight because it's at midnight. He couldn't do it. So that's scary. I'm glad to see you though.
Yeah, we voted. That's all you waiting for. That's all you waiting for. Don't worry that you'll come down.
Yes. That's not gonna come down.
You'll come down.
Don't come down. I take notes from your wife straight. Christian, you go in.
So you want you.
Christian, you go in. Don't worry. When I go back to have you know, before Abraham was I am. Let her know that.
You have to tell everybody that.
Kyrie, you know your girl was. You know I was always friend before Kyrie.
Talk to us.
The program, gentlemen, you did a fantastic job, Ras Kelly and Mr. Clarence and Franco. All you did a wonderful job. And anyhow, what happened to class students? They could expect medical advice.
Say that again.
They understand them now. They loyal dragon scary game.
I didn't get that, Nancy.
I said the lawyers against Kerry.
Who the lawyers against Kerry?
Yeah.
But we're not hearing them at all.
So why don't you give Linton some advice?
He doesn't take advice. He doesn't take advice.
Linton never said to some kind of impossible thing. And say things and then he doesn't even know what he's saying at all. Linton needs to behave himself, you know. Linton is a wicked old man. Okay?
I think they have a thing coming up. What conference?
Who's that? The
UWP.
But the delegates conference.
Delegates conference. They'll take him out there. I think
no,
Handbag going to be.
No, it's signed, still and delivered. He's going unopposed as leader.
Already?
Yeah.
Okay, I think Handbag was contested.
They would take out Linton, I said in your.
Yeah, he's going unopposed.
That's
information coming out from inside.
And you don't affirm yourself. Affirm yourself needs to behave yourself. You don't know affirm yourself when you're from midlife crisis. Affirm yourself needs to behave yourself. Somebody needs to take a whole flower bag. There's a flower bag. You know, there used to be cortex before. I'll give it to affirm yourself. Trying to shut his all behind for you.
We don't even want if Afi and them now. All we want to do is Granby people, they know their sin. More than every other Labour writer, I think Granby know their sin and they know what they have to do. You know,
anyhow,
and they'll do it tomorrow.
Yes, well, Granbarians, go out tomorrow. I know how you're going to do the right thing. You know, you put the X by Vince, by the show. Okay, vote for Vince is a vote for progress. Okay, vote for Handbag is a vote for disaster. And I know how you're going to do the right thing. No. Tomorrow, after 5 o'clock, I myself in the moon. After tonight, I myself dressed in red. I should be in my red head tie, my red panty, my red pants, and my red shirt. I know you win victory already.
And light your red candle.
Nah. The candle is. I don't like that candle. I don't do candle.
You're afraid of candle? You're not like mommy, man.
No, I'm not for this.
Okay. Anyway, my dear.
All right, good night, gentlemen. You have a drive home safe and safe.
Sweet dreams. It's already 10:25.
Yes, Rascally, and of course, as we've been saying, this is the day. Tomorrow, the people of Granby go out, to vote for a candidate, and the Labour Party has presented a tremendous candidate, with tremendous credentials.
On the overseas line.
Boy, Kelly Moss, good evening, boy. Fireman touching base, man, like look at 2 cents.
Yes, I.
Boy, Kelly, let me give all you a joke. You know, really and truly, what I was sitting on Facebook today, and I feel so shame and ignorant of myself. You know why? I listened to Afi Mate saying that the lady I got for freedom once upon a time. What's her name?
Julian Lesson? Oh, no, Judith Pestina. Pestina and IP and
Jura Loftus
and Doc and Jura signed to put Vince, in other words, subject rejected, like a reject ballot. You know what I'm saying? What I find to myself now, first I start with IP first. IP as a professional doctor, right? Ghost. I don't know, the world know what happened in our world right now. We have a virus passed, we're fighting a war with an enemy we cannot see and touch. And people suffer in all different ways and forms, not in River Nicolona, all over the world. This is the smell of myself in my world. That's the first thing I see in my life, that I've been in prison when I never do no crime. Everybody suffering by that. Right? You're a professional doctor. No, as far as I understand, when the virus comes, everybody says we need vaccine. I don't call it a vaccine, as I say, I call it a treatment. Both. As far as I understand, numbers checking, right? From since that vaccine, or that treatment, I call it, come across, that saved millions and millions of people's life. You can say what they want. If 5 or 7 people die, I don't want all the problems that they pass. It's because what happened, people die normally. People killing people every day. You know what I'm saying? The doctor never ever come on no kind of media. No, I listen to him, I don't want people telling me. I I'm a fireman. I don't like to say what I want. I don't have education, but I have education. and go see what I defending, I don't go in heaven. If I defending, repatriation is almost when the right time come. The brother never come and no media tell anybody. Right now we have a problem at hand and we face a serious problem. The only solution is to take the treatment for us to get ourselves up and running. You are telling you? The brother never said nothing about that. He said that's his purpose, that's his business and whatsoever. But you can go and sign paper with Afimate. Now Afimate yourself. They give you a river. Not even them boats that was coming up from Matnik and get water to buy. You know what I'm telling you good? You know them boats just come and get the liquor water to oneself. Right? You never even carry, they even take around 5 or 7 jerrycan and full of water and put some on the pot or somewhere. So when them boat come, you could get to sell. That's nothing you do, partner. Them man love the country. No, the one they call him top up now personally. You know the problem I have is top up? I telling you, that's why I telling you no. I glad top up come in the political vibe because why? I fought top up at how much GC even had more than whosoever I given it to before. You check it because the way top up was talking about Peru. You are telling you, the way top up was talking about Peru, I never had a mind that today in 2021 Rastafari. You are telling you, a man like Leonard Clinton, which you call Honorable Leonard Clinton better than a top up, who telling me today, you're taking a man like Hamburg or Hambach and telling me to be a candidate of a constituency like Granby that's so agricultural, so cultural in all different ways and forms. Hambach don't know neither front, neither back. You know what I'm telling you? I mean, let's get real. As he would say, not even reading and writing in the Rasta. To me, any parliament member who doing politics in parliament, back at political, you're supposed to be well grounded, in other words. You know what I'm telling you? Because they're not no joke thing, Rastafari. They're not a mess. They're not a boss competition or a car competition or whatsoever competition. That is people life. You have all type of different people. You have dumb, you have thick, you have crazy, you have straight, you have crooked. Get it straight. You know what I'm telling you? Look at Fidel Castro. When Castro see what happened in Cuba, Castro, he say all that man, all whosoever, go to America and who want to stay and work with Castro, stay with Castro. What Castro do? Castro make everybody get a good education and Castro make everybody be what they want to be, not what they. In other words, he don't put pressure on them, he make a choice for educating his people and himself. Rastafari, when I was going to school in Rivernica, under Mamo, when you're 16, 15 years, you don't go far, you don't have nowhere to go again. If I was going to school under World Boss, Mr. Roosevelt, the best brand in the Caribbean, you know what I'm telling you? Well, maybe I don't know what has been my life, but anyhow, if I don't know better. You know what I'm telling you? Right now, my Lord, today in 2020, you're telling me to have a man. That is something really in my head. That is disrespectful, that is wrong, that is garbage, that is rubbish. Hamburger said, I'm going to vote for himself. He goes and vote for Vince tomorrow morning when job left. You know what I'm telling you? Where my devil got you know? Hamburg himself, when he's going to vote tomorrow, he's going to vote for Vince Henderson because he's going to say he make a mistake. And when you see Vince win the election, what I want Vince to do for Mr. Hamburg, because I find he's a brave, positive man in a sense, because in other words, he tries to take his constituency. You know what I'm saying? He stop up on them and never love Grand Bay people. Never love Rivernica, because if the man has love and respect for Grand Bay people as man, you talking so much money you have, right? You can't find nobody, even Christian Gegra talking every day. He talking every day bad thing about the whole boss and one thing about Rivernica and one thing. Now you have the chance to come and make the people them know. You concern, you care, and you love them, that you come and defend them right now there. You come and show yourself, make them so. Look, somebody come and represent them. You are the back, you can't show up. You are telling you, now tell me that thing again, you know, my Lord. Stop up now. For all the time you say they're talking, as I always say earlier on, is that how much pal reps that living overseas and join money. But now all the money you join there, you know for a fact, you are the only opposition leader in the Caribbean there right now that do have no positive education, do have no positive, how you call it, occupation. Every opposition leader in the Caribbean, all of them qualify. Don't talk about them prime ministers. You are telling me World Boss today going and select a candidate that's unqualified to run the election, but now World Boss run the election, how much time already with? Right now, any politician right now in the Caribbean or even in the world, calling World Boss, what is the formula you have? Give me about the formula. Tell me about the formula, Rasta. You know I'm telling you, them things hurt my heart. Them have to have respect, you know. Not because you love World Boss. World Boss is a human being like everybody else. As I say again, every human being responsible for their own action. Ghost, you know what? You know our life, right? We don't take drugs. We smoke winter vegetable. You know I'm telling you, Ghost? No, the law once upon a time tell us.
What kind of vegetable?
Huh?
What kind of vegetable?
With me, my Lord?
Winter vegetable.
Because when you call it marijuana and marijuana is going too far. When you say winter vegetable, the whole lot it is already. You know what I'm telling you about? No, you had a law. America, you know for a fact, used to spend how much money to destroy our winter vegetable in Rivernica, right? Right now, America, that same America making billions and billions of dollars is that same winter vegetable. You know what I'm telling you? We have to get it real. No, we couldn't fight it. I will tell you all now, so real and truly, even them man are smoking their winter vegetables, we have to go and puffing all over the place. Because goes to know better. Winter vegetable not a cigarette, that's not a joke. That is a vibe. Get up in the morning, you do what you have to do, take a little winter vegetable, you go and fulfill your mission for the day. When you come back, do what you do, you take your winter vegetable. So man I see man like that on the road, puffing by them brothers do nothing, them and the drugs they taking. Because nothing they put in it, they're not winter vegetable, they put it to a different stage. You know what I'm telling you what? So we have to get it real. My lord, right now there we have a problem. I tell you, the only problem we have in that place there, Edison James, because of his brand and his money, this is because he say from long time, Top Up is a good household name, and Top Up know how to host money. Top Up have a lot of money in Rivernica, there is Top Up in the island. When I listen to the deputy leader of the Workers' Party, or the Conquer Fit Party, same way, because with our party we have a family. Because I tell you, all boss are the best brand in the Caribbean. They can say what they want to know. Them man can say what they want. Look, as the lady say, and she no lie, we say no opposition for 20 years, we just start to work. You know, you, my lord, Ruzik pass, he don't do what he has to do. Pero pass, he don't do what he has to do. Right now with whole boss and we just start to go. When we come in power, as you know, goes. That place was in a set up. In other words, all this zinc, what they call galvanized, I call it zinc. All this zinc had a whole heap of holes in the island. We have to patch all them holes to get ourselves up and running, you know. And it's because of the virus there today, the COVID virus that have us a little on display, you know. You know what I'm telling you, we have to get it real. That is our problem we have then with Rivernica. Go some people roll out there, I want to say, you see me? When you say already come Rivernica, goes right now we have a food problem. Right now, man making one two bag of dash to make $2 billion. Our man planting one site in the extent partner. Rivernica is a blessed little place. We have a lot of soil that can make billions and billions of dollars. You see, when they say come Rivernica, I go to my company, you know. I tell you, all them man that say the Rasta or the Dread, if all really want us to make money, right now in a new era, is agony for making the money. My lord, we're going to get ourselves together, prepare ourselves. Whole boss, we have a young Minister of Agriculture, I know for a fact. Want to make up our mind. I know Mr. Kevin Stevenson. I know he loves to hear what I go and say there tonight because I know he positive want to know about that. Because he know that is profit and that is benefit. We're going to start to plant food thereafter and all them high prices there, they're going to go down. It's all them have to do right now. All Top Up and it's true. Tell these people and them. Now forget World Boss a little bit. Rivernica is not, as I said, he would say, not what your country can do for you. It's what you can do for your country, but the country cannot build this service. We have to build it. World Boss say, every one of us have our time to get our what are looking like us. It's patient in life. My lord, we have a country to build. Tomorrow, Vince inside already. I'm back so for sure. You're going to vote for Vince tomorrow. Granby people not backward because Granby people are very intelligent. Granby people are white people. We have a bright culture. They are great people. They know the history. They know the story. They know everything. I'm back around to be in center of attraction. In other words, you must try to find your place. You mustn't just be in center of attraction. And all them man have the education talking about I'm back and talking the garbage. But no making no sense, only talking rubbish. I'm back and help nobody. If you put them back them in like, if you put them back them from there to Kalibishi, I'm back passing it 100 times to bite and say it. Get this straight, Rastaman. When we not rubbish only talking, but let's get real. Not Ed, not reading right, I tell you, no. We need only pal rep right now. We need people that well grown to be a pal. Before I roll again, say a little bit guy go there. When World Boss bring his 9 empresses in the ring, what they say? None of them empress going to win. What happens? All empress win. Who that lose? 3 men that lose. Why you lose? Because them fellas are great. Butler put up plague. Butler said put up plague and Danny Luge, and that picked the on him right now. So they have to put him there for the holy reverend. You know what I'm saying? So my lord, before you lord, Babes, good evening to you, my original lawyer, Mr. Moses, who not there physically, but I know he's there spiritually, because he always say, Top Up too heavy, we have to take a big international crane to lift up Top Up. Because why? Before I roll, see what happened in 2017. Top Up burned down Roosevelt Central, and it's true. No police can stop him, no prime minister can stop him for passport.
Okay, I want you to go now, but before you go, what would you tell Handback to spell for you? What would you tell Handback to spell for you?
I tell him back spell DVD, he can't start. I tell him spell TV, he can't start. How much would it have to spell DVD? Or how much would it have to spell TV? You know what I'm saying? So I tell you, my lord, we're in serious problem. Many shall be called, I'm back, you don't go in center of attraction. You know, personally, you're going to vote for Vince tomorrow. But go, anyway, what I tell you again, Top Up have to go in the rest for 100 times and 100 years. Go, World Boss, boy, they can't stop the family. Up and running. Big brother, what? You know already. What say well? Boy, fireman, you see you have the African blood in you, the African power. And he tell me personally, Rastaman, he's not a politician. But anything World Boss doing, World Boss is a special person. Anything World Boss doing, You know all what he's doing. Men is what we call spiritual rituals really.
Yes, I Rasta.
Big brother, he's a king for life. They can't stop you. The greatest Rasta man in River Nika. My brother up and running deep. But this New York way only coming down. Let's quick. Up and running, fireman running. I'm listening less of my brother.
Yes, I, brother.
And what is in the heart?
Just let me give a little support to one of us, Roof Nation from Casabros, a photo labor ride in Guadeloupe. She just sent me, Clarence Christian, my house is full with tear gas. Jesus, I am choking. Because it seems as though there is riot in Guadeloupe and the police and the Jadam is...
The Jadam and them, they send there.
Jadam is blowing out tear gas and
Where
police...
is she? What area of Guadeloupe is she?
She didn't say. She didn't say. And then she just I just got the message there and so on.
Roof Nation.
Roof Nation. I know her. She's that lady down there by
No, but you know, Clarence, just to dive with a little bit because I follow in that night. The mandate was for doctors and nurses.
Frontline, yeah.
Frontline workers. And I looking at some of the videos, and you haven't got no nurses and nothing there, just hooligans.
What happened, the union of other workers took over that matter. And so I suppose the members from the other...
No, what I just people I want to destroy things, man. What that really doing? Burning all those things and doing what that helping?
But that is what we hear those things happening in Guadeloupe. And you hear people here, Dominica saying that is what it have to come to.
Well, that is what I heard on the program before I leave here from that what his name? Thomas Later.
Yeah, they're saying that see Guadeloupe. That is what we have to do in Dominica, but they lie.
On the local line, good evening.
Where?
You there, let's go.
Good evening to you. Good evening to Mr. Christian.
Good evening,
and good evening to Mr. Charles.
Good evening. How are you?
Oh, I'm holding on. I'm breathing. Thanks be to God. And I wish all of you a wonderful night. And tomorrow to get up and listen and continue to pray. And I also say good evening to my Dr. Honorable Prime Minister Roosevelt Skerrit, his wife, his children, his family, his in-laws, all the senators of the government. Good evening to all of you, the ministers. Continue working hard. Some doesn't do what they have to do, I don't put a man in fire for nobody, but when you say I come out, I will say what I have to say. But I'm going to say a little prayer. I'm not going to stay long on that radio tonight. So I'm going to say a little prayer for Mr. Vince Henderson. Praying for his wife. May God continue to bless, guide, protect, and direct her. Hold her hands and walk with her through the darkest night, the brightest day. And Mr. Vince, I call in on the Heavenly Father, Jehovah God, the great I am, Yahweh El Shaddai, creator of the universe. He created the whole world by a word, and his word made flesh. You know everyone on earth, heaven above and the dead below. So I call in on the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit to continue to hold Mr. Vince Henderson's hand and walk with him through the darkest night and the brightest day. And I know the Lord Almighty have already chosen Mr. Vince in Grand Bay to take care of his flocks there and to develop his community. Mr. Vince, be not afraid. You have already won victory. And I've been praying for you, and I'm going to light your candle the whole day. Jesus is the light of the world. The Father gave him to us as the light of the world, the Heavenly Father Jehovah. And he's going to continue to let his light shine in Grand Bay. We do not want war. We don't want no trouble like what's going on in Guadeloupe. We want peace. And I am praying for peace and for that election to pass without no harm, no danger, no problem. And I know that God is going to put you to take care of his people in Grand Bay. And I'm saying to the people of Grand Bay, listen to the voice of the Lord and pray to get a good leader to bring love and peace and unity back in Granby. And we will continue to work to supply this nation of Dominica or the land of Holy Blue. So do a right choice tomorrow. And I say to Mr. Hendo, be not afraid. You have already won victory over death. In Jesus' name I pray. And I claim that most precious blood of the Lamb of God from the crown of your head to the sole of your feet. And may the good Lord continue to hold your hand and walk with you throughout the darkest night and the brightest day. Do not look down as Peter. Keep your head above the waters and let the Lord carry you on. And I call in on blessed Michael, most powerful angel in heaven, who drove the dragon and the devil down to hell. And I call in on Holy Michael to defend you and to defend the Prime Minister and this country in the day of battle. Be our protection and guard against the ways and the wickedness of those devils. May God rebuke them, I humbly pray, and do thou, Prince of the heavenly host, by the power of God, drag down into hell Satan and all his evil spirits who prowling through this country for Granby, trying to destroy the children of God the Most High. Holy Michael, defend us, be our protection. The Lord is our light and our salvation. Whom shall we fear? Fear the man, fear God Almighty and His Son, the Holy Spirit, who can take away everything in a twinkle of an eye. But fear no man. Trust in God and pray always. Vince, have a blessed night. Take a rest tonight. Okay? Pray before you go and sleep. Ask the Lord to shepherd you. Ask the Holy Spirit to comfort you. And God the Almighty, the creator of the universe, will be with you through everything you're going through. Be strong. Be bold. Keep your head above the waters and have faith in God. And Mom will continue to pray for you. And I pray that Dominica will be at peace. When I hear about that thing that happened in Guadeloupe, our sister country, neighbor next door, it hurt. Very painful. Over what? Over what? And for this snake in Dominica to ask for this thing to happen in Dominica? Can we afford that now? We do not want this war. It happened in 79. We're not going to allow it again. Not in this country. So those vagrant and vagabond who are asking for this to happen during the election time, it will not work. Because we give them prayer. We will put the helmet of faith, the shield of faith, and the breastplate. And we're going in war with prayer. And we're going to defeat all of them. Happy matter, you have been defeated already. And I'm not going to talk about all you know, you know. Now it's prayer to see the election pass free and clean without problem in Granby tomorrow if the Lord's will. And we have to depend on Him because He's going to give us a leader to take care of Granby and Dominica. Okay? So let us all pray and pray to our Father in heaven for Him to protect us in this land. Granby people, go out and vote. Pray before you go to vote. Call on Jesus to make the right choice so that all you will not turn into a pillar of salt. God bless everyone in Granby. God bless Dominica. Ghost, Mr. Christian, and Mr. Charles.
Bless
Have
up,
a blessed
mommy.
night.
Yes, I.
And drive safely.
Yes, I.
God is with you all.
All right.
Okay, bye.
And like mommy don't want to turn to a pillar of salt. Eh? It's already 10:47. Let me just say good evening to you, Ignatius up there in Madrid, and also my darling Glenda. Pleasant good evening to you. Pleasant listening, of course, my lady Jackie, who is always right. Social Security. Not hearing you. I don't know what happened. Not hearing you. You have to give me a call, right? Let me make sure you're okay.
let me tell Roof Nation of Giant Guadeloupe, I know you have your radio on listening to us. Use a wet piece of cloth, wet it, and cover your entire face in the house. And stay safe. Just do not go outside, do not look into the windows. Because some stray bullets might be firing. Just stay safe, keep yourself safe. Right? We are thinking of you.
Yes, all the lines are going. But before we go, I want to hear Fathead again, you know. After Fathead, we'll take calls.
Nous pouvons accepter. Il fait sa sortie en space. Mais nous accepter. Jump high, jump low, say. Et bien nous devons voter un million de fois. Parce que nous les bons pour nous. Nous les bons pour nous. Mais c'est pas vraiment dit ça, Massimo, je dis. La pouillette plus chère qu'il a veillé. En papa, il a mis quand Jimmy a veillé. En papa, il a mis quand Jimmy a veillé. Changer ou pas venir en place indienne avec une indienne. Ou que vous êtes en place où vous pouvez. Puis que vous avez passé. Mais ou pas venir en Gombe avec jouer chéri. Pas venir en jouer chéri. Politique avec ses problèmes, donc à mettre. Bon Dieu, oui, ma couille là. Et celle bagaille, moun bagaille l'ombilier, c'est vijaille. Celle bagaille, ou pas si vous êtes l'ombilier, c'est vijaille. En y garde vijaille bien. Pour que puis alors la déclencher, c'est ici. Parce que moun bagaille la j'ai sans bâton. Eh bien, si la ni soldat, eh bien, je sais ça bien. Si la ni soldat, moi, je savais la avec Jelson, parce que ça, c'est pour faire. Mais où est-ce qu'ils ont pas fait action? Il ne va pas faire. Il ne va pas faire. Garçon, où est-ce qu'il se meilleur, oui, mais, pour chez Rastazo, nous ne sommes pas pas interférer en politique pour nous ne pouvons pas changer. Pour les nous cool. Nous pas pris cool. Mais où t'as votre poteau, nous pas mettre en descendre, baba. Eh bien, vite. Pas faire mon égouille, frère. Vive Ozo, où était Churchill, c'est meilleur, oui, mais. La pouillette plus chère qu'il a veillé. Pour bon Dieu, oui, mais ma clé là. Ton jump, pas ton de foule. All right. On va couper bien. Mais c'est gardez bien, pour des filles, pour vous blesser. Gardez bien, pour des filles, pour vous blesser. Quand ça fait vos plaies, l'homme, non? L'homme n'est pas qu'à vos plaies, l'homme n'est qu'à vos plaies. Et bien là, il va dire sec. Là, il va dire sec. Pas mettre problème en politique, nous. Parce que nous attendons des petites nouvelles qui passent. Et bien tout le monde attend. Nouvelles qui passent, et bien nous attendons. Mon papa est massoir. Mon aujourd'hui, mon aimé. Mon lèvre d'abord. Mon y comme les enfants, mon y comme les grands children. Je peux continuer. Ça fait tout même ce qu'il faut pour le calvas qui vient à couler. C'est 2 quiquièmes de calvas. C'est 2 quiquièmes de calvas. Ça fait tout même ce qu'il faut pour le plan. Nous n'y was. Avec nous n'y was. Vous voyez, vous êtes sorti de Mali, mais si vous allez camper ça. Ni en souhait. Y'en dit, vous qui le caresse à montagne. Nous avons tapé nouvelle là. Mais on chancé. Nous avons tapé nouvelle là, ça. Parce que si nous sommes en l'air, c'est ça que ça. Je dis, ouais, nous sommes d'accord, nous cool. Donc, les bagages chauffés, il a vu plus chaud. Plus bagages chauffés, plus chaud. Où était tout en train de se meilleur, oui, mais. Pour essayer de rester par exemple, nous devons supporter ça. Pas longtemps politique, nous devons faire. Même si vous sortez en l'esciel, nous devons accepter. Ils n'ont pas accepté ça qu'il a. Nous ne pas accepter. C'est nous devons faire. Pour dire que c'est nous qui est intelligent, pas monter. Tout ces gens qui sont intelligents, qui sont éduqués là, pour qui pas monter. Tout full in a pon, non pas de muslim, bon pas bien d'être jaune. Ça qui a fait là, et ça qui a fait là, tout full in a pon, bon pas bien muslim, bon pas bien d'être jaune. Et bien c'est ça dans les bamoun. Derrière mon cavalier, c'est éduqué pour nous monter. Dépend pas ça. Pour qui, il n'y a pas qu'à monter. Il va y avoir des gens, il y a ça, il y a pas d'équipe. Il y a des gens qui passeport, il y a pas d'équipe. Il va tout manier, il y a répète. Ma dit, il n'y a pas d'y a compte qui monte. Nous pas de problème de monter. Il fait nous problème de monter. Il dit, nous. Nous pas ça qui va monter. Ils sont bons hommes. Mais, let sleeping dog lie. Ok? Quittez chien qui a dormi, quittez dormi. Alright, ouais, mon café dit, ça qui lève bon, les café fort. Ça qui lève café chololo. Chololo, c'est ma café. Chololo, c'est ma café. On lève bon, café fort. Je ne sais ça, nous pas nous lever bon l'air. Vous voyez, mon avertissement. Ouais, quelqu'un qui dit, mais oui, mais. Never wake a lion when it's sleeping. Parce que pas ça il est fait. Pas comprendre que nous la caille les volets pour tout bagaille oreille. Vous allez nous écouter, nous attendre. Vive pas ça. Vous allez nous avertir. Les alarmes là qui déclenchées. Mais ça si ça fait vous vivre pour à pied. Avec 6 ans d'hiver pour 6 ans sur que les soit pas libre. Les bagaille là qui chauffé. Mais ça si ça que la selle sociale si que il faut pour lever ça tout. Bon pas comprendre ça quand il n'a pas problème avec ça quand il drive aller. Il pas dit ça.
Sorry for that little colorful language there.
C'est pas n'importe nom qui nomme. Il man est zaman, peut-être ça c'est zaman, mais c'est ni man. Faut pas bon, la gestion. La gestion, maestro.
Yes, I could listen to that one all night. When I go home, I have to listen to it again. Fathead, yes, Fathead. I can see you, Fathead, you pick his Jemet, and it's already 5 minutes going up to 11. At 11, we go to the bishop.
I just, my friend Earl Bruno, no matter what he is doing, but he's my friend and he's always my friend.
You always have to look out for your friend.
Am I looking out for my friend? Earl Bruno, please do not go up to Grand Bay to cause any problem. Do not attempt to wake up a sleeping lion, the real Negmaon and the real Balaz. They are sleeping. Do not wake them up. Please do not wake them up.
Just before we go to our last call for the night, let me say good evening to you, Joycey and Barrett, because Joycey like to say we forget her. No, Joycey, we know you're praying for Vince. You tell me that at 12 o'clock, I'll get up and pray for Vince at 6 o'clock. And a good WhatsApp friend of mine, Marianne, I know you are there listening too. And of course, Madam Speaker. We have somebody on the line, and one thing we did, Auntie, to take my kicks in Cuckooland on Clarence and them, you know. Clarence and them tried to go to your funeral and they put them out.
Oh, yeah, but we have to do that.
Just before we go, let me take the last call. We'll give the lady a minute because it's a lady of ours. Oh boy, she will live with. She live.
Yeah, Rascally, you know, the funeral put out that was for all Jyoti's friend on Kyrie, you know. All, you know, everybody.
That was Jyoti's family, you know.
Yeah,
I can tell you that was Jyoti's family, not those people that put out.
But we did not know them. Let me tell you something. If I had, it's almost if Darrell did not call me because I was by the bishop house coming to the thing. If Darrell didn't call me, that funeral wouldn't have taken place because I would have stand up in the center of the church and cry down the entire family because they were cruel and wicked to Jyoti.
And Jyoti, all of us know what Jyoti go through with his, what was supposed to be his family.
Family.
And his family was Clarence Christian, who made how many trips up and down? How many of them were there to help you?
No.
Lift
Bro,
up anything?
to carry swing, what about to go down to Fadi Pay in Mero? He check him and his brother when Jyoti was sick. Take him to Dr. Fadi Pay and waiting for him. Leave my office, waiting for him. When lunchtime come, go down to La. There's a little bar when you're going up to just before you take the entrance, go into Hillsborough Gardens on the side of the road. The lady always has some nice stew pork or whatever it is there. Go there, buy lunch with my pocket and my pocket. Bring for it. No family was there.
Boy, all of us. Imagine you're on the radio, one of them, the mystery lady. The mystery lady. If you were there with him, you know who the mystery lady was. And you would know who people like Gafford, you, even Big Six, me, even Mommy.
But all of us.
We'll talk about that.
We will talk about that. That was the thing. But tonight is election night. We will talk about that. I have to put it.
And just before we go, of course, our last appeal, the people of Granby, like a caller say, we haven't got to tell all you that. Now, all you know more than us anywhere else in Dominica, what you have to do because you've been doing it all the while, all through the years, more than anybody else. Yes, Clarence, your last words?
Yeah, all I'm saying, tomorrow, Granby people, wake up early o'clock, to get ready to go to vote. There will be bosses picking you up and things so. And let me make an appeal. We need peace. Loftus Durant, Earl Bruno, and those people, do not go to Granby and wake up a sleeping lion. Do not wake up Bala and the Negmaon. Because please, we want peace in Granby.
Yes, Franco.
All right.
Well, good evening again. Peace in Granby, and people of Granby, go out and vote. Call your friend, call your neighbor, call your family, go out and vote. Vote for Dr. Vince Henderson, the shoe, Labour the shoe. Tomorrow evening, we will hear a different story.
Bang on 11 o'clock. It was my pleasure, our pleasure to be with you once again. You're on the local line, believe me. You're too late for that one. Until next Wednesday, Jah willing, stay safe, everybody. And tomorrow evening, when you're celebrating, make sure you do that, remembering there's a little devil called COVID-19 still around. God bless you all.
What's in their hearts? What is in their hearts?
Reaching the full stature of our coming King, Jesus Christ of Nazareth. And now for today's message.
Your name make us one. Make us one.
Our message from the Holy Spirit is entitled Merciful God. And our text is taken from Exodus chapter 34, verses 5 and 6. And also from the book of Lamentations, chapter 3, verses 22 and 23. Exodus chapter 34, verses 5 and 6. And the Lord descended in the cloud and stood with him there and proclaimed the name of the Lord. And the Lord passed by before him and proclaimed, the Lord God, merciful and gracious, long-suffering and abundant in goodness and truth. Lamentations chapter 3, verses 22 to 23. It is of the Lord's mercies that we are not consumed, because his compassions fail not. They are new every morning. Great is thy faithfulness. It is of the Lord's mercies that we are not consumed, because his compassions fail not. Our message is entitled, The Merciful God. This is one of the 12 governmental names that the Father has given to his Son, merciful.